What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 266. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? How's it going?
Chris Seeley.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero.
Hi.
Adam Vale.
What's up, humans?
And Brian Manjoma.
What up, what up, what up?
All right, man. So we're back with another one. Oh, Brett. You know, Brett, he'll show up when he shows up, you know. So take two, people. So anyway, before we start, and we got a lot of not a lot of questions, but we got some very deep questions this week. So it's going to be very interesting. So first up, we want to give some shout outs here. Shout out to Hip Hop Gamer, who we had on Throwdown episode 266, which is also our comeback episode. And on that one, you know, he broke down everything of why he confirms that the PS5 will have full backwards compatibility, right? You can check that out right now over episode 266. It's around the 17-minute mark. You get right to it. Or if you guys are watching this later, you know, you can just watch it on our YouTube. It's all there. We edited out that entire spot, and he breaks it all down. In his video that he did on his channel, which we also are going to have linked in the video, he did, 15 minutes, basically. He broke it all down 15 minutes. With us, 1 hour. You know, my man went in. You know,
he went into every single part of what. I mean, I appreciate that he decided he wanted to talk about, what led him to this final decision or final statement. Yeah,
exactly. So that was cool. And then obviously we want to thank the guys from the Art Podcast, Robert Workman, who also joined us on the last episode of Throwdown Your Questions, and David Gilton. And they had me, Manny, and Adam on to talk about the 3DO, you know, give our
3DO.
Yeah, man. Like, no, people don't really know the 3DO like that. So it was like when David was on Twitter talking about it, he was like, "Hey, does anybody know 3DO? I wanted to put a show together." I'm like, I may have some people for you, bro. You know, and even myself, like I wasn't as experienced as you guys, but I played it all the time at Manny's house and my boy Mike's house and shit. So I'm more experienced with 3DO than most people, you know, and I have like next to no knowledge of it, you know. So shout out to those guys. And we were while I had these guys meet, we were having a little bit of a conversation about how weird our voices sound. But anyway, but we could skip all that. But there's also something else, people.
We forgot to shout out Riku.
Oh yeah, we did forget to shout out Riku. Hey, nigga. Oh, I can't say that anymore, can I?
No.
Okay, so got 7 heads right now. We're gonna wait a little bit. Okay, we keep talking about this, right? Like we're gonna have contests here. We're going to have contests starting tonight, people. And as we talked about before, these contests that we're going to be having are specifically for the people who watch us live. You know, these are for the live guys. So if you guys are loyal, you know, to Throwdowns, you're going to get some goodies, man. So, Manny, what are we giving away tonight, sir?
What we are giving tonight is are giving away another Death Stranding poster. That will be chosen randomly, and you'll be able to see that on the air with a little throwdown twirly thing, as well as some things from Adam.
Yeah. Oh, maybe Adam. We'll see about that.
No.
Oh, yeah. No, Adam. No, Adam.
Not yet.
Today.
Not yet. It's coming.
Okay, not yet.
Will be coming.
Okay.
Stuff will be coming.
So we're just giving
Definitely
right now. We're giving away the Death Stranding poster, and maybe I'll toss a little something in there for you. You know, a little something extra for you. Little mystery gift.
Yeah, exactly. And I got some shit, but you know, we're gonna give things out away in the next couple months and all that. Fuck it, let's get into it, man. Actually, before that, let's give some shout outs, man. Who we got in the room right now? NHL 3552. What's going on, brother? Mighty Nerd in the house. Black Metal Gamer. You know. Hold on. What did you? Black Metal Gamer, chill with language, bro. You know what? I'll allow it. You crazy, man.
Damn.
All right. Anyway, we got some questions. So I set things up so we kind of have some like kind of easy questions, and then we'll lead into the crazy stuff, right? All right. Okay. First up, Do the Third. He asked, with the holidays behind us, what is the Throwdown crew's preferred way to spend the holidays? So basically, what did you guys do during the holidays?
For me, it was the same shit I always do. Work. But this time around, I actually had gotten sick after New Year's. So I was kind of just like working slow. And then I was playing a little bit Death Stranding here and there.
Yeah, but if you have a preference, what would you like to do during the holidays, or what is your favorite?
If I had
thing?
A preference, so
yeah.
like you mean like a thing that I couldn't normally do?
No. It has to be something you could normally do. Like, what is your preferred way of spending your holidays?
I mean, most of the time, the preferred way is to not be at this computer doing anything and just kind of maybe staying away and doing something else. But you know, freelance, that's not, that's just not the way it works. You got, rain or shine, you got to keep working because you got to keep that check coming.
Yeah, that's how it is. For me, holidays was interesting this year. I could tell you guys this. It's not too insider. Basically, the Monday before Christmas, my editor hits me up and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm going to go on vacation for 2 weeks. I need you to pull in all your assignments." And I'm like, wait a minute. If he's on vacation for 2 weeks, that means I'm on vacation for 2 weeks, because think about it. I could write stuff, but who am I going to submit it to? So I just chilled. I basically caught up on a lot of reading. I watched The Witcher, people. I don't really watch TV anymore. The last thing I saw on TV was Game of Thrones. Watched The Witcher, and then I read the first Witcher book, which is actually a compilation of like a bunch of short stories. Really good stuff. And I got to hang out with Chris and Kristen and Manny. Got to hang out with some of my peoples in Long Island. I think I met Jeffrey one point when drinking at Barcade. It was a good holiday, and I think that is my preferred way. Just pretty much hanging out with people I love. That's my preferred way of spending holidays. It doesn't matter where it is or how it happens. That's probably my preferred way, But yeah, it was a good holiday for me, man. It was again, I haven't been on quote unquote vacation in a long time, because like Manny said, freelancers, we always gotta pretty much, if we're not working, we ain't getting paid. But I got paid very well in December, so I'm like,
well, you got a good situation where it's like you had all these things that were kind of coming to pass like right before the holidays, so it was like you could sit back for a little bit, and then again, your boss is also on vacation.
Yeah, exactly. And, to toot my own horn a little bit, your boy went ham. I posted like 6 articles just to end the week off. They're all like the best of the generations. I went fucking nuts, bro. As a matter of fact, I went so nuts with that shit. Now when I went back into my normal writing, it's easy in comparison, because I wrote these massive fucking lists, bro. It was crazy. I had to do all this research and shit. But yeah, holidays treated me very well, man. Carlos, man, what about you?
So last couple of years, I've been normally taking my holiday break, sort of, quote unquote, during November. Like you guys know, November, I always travel. And in my work, there's like a rule where you can either take vacation time in November or December. So I normally take in November because I don't have to fight with anybody to take those days.
Yeah.
And I'm usually working pretty much during the holiday season. So except for the 1st and the 25th. So, but the 24th and the 31st, I'm there working. So, yeah, pretty much just work. And I guess with school is like a lot of people come into town from that, went out. So a lot of my friends that are normally out of town, that's when I get to see them during the holidays. So, yeah,
nice.
Pretty much it.
All right. Before I go to the rest of you guys, just letting you guys know, all 16 of you, awesome. This room's filling up already. At the end of this question, we're gonna have a giveaway. Just letting you guys know. It's gonna happen. Annihilator, what's going on, brother? Glorious War. Yeah, if you guys have questions for us, start dropping them in there, man. Stop dropping them in there. Remember, limited to gaming questions. No more AMAs. Although, Carlos, we're gonna have 4 AMAs this year, as usual.
That's good, man.
Yeah. Again, this is how efficient we are on Throwdown, because I could tell you, if you tell me, hey, what episode is, if you give me an episode number, like 270, whatever, I could actually tell you the date. So we're going to have AMA 275, 300 during E3, and then the final one of the year. You know how that goes, man. Anyway.
Damn, might not even beat on the E3 one, man.
Oh, shit. All right. Brian, what's your preferred way of spending a holiday, and how did you spend this holiday?
I always do the same thing every single year. I always take 2.5 weeks off work and mix it up with a week and a half of TV, films, anime, games, just anything I haven't really had time to watch this year. So, for example, this year I started Demon Slayer. Yep, that's actually quite good. I'm not gonna lie. I watched The Witcher, as you said, and yep, that's also is.
Did you toss a coin to The Witcher though?
Yo, that song's been in my head the whole time. It's so good. Just watched some films here and there, and then spent a week with family. So just went to see my aunts and uncles, my cousins and nephews, hung out for a bit, just see family, and that's it. Usual fanfare. And
Nice.
Also, I did something I thought I'd never could do, and I uninstalled Warframe.
Excuse me?
Wait, what?
Whoa, wait.
Yeah, uninstalled
Like they
it.
say in the Bronx, better why?
Why?
What happened?
I don't know. I just came back and I was like, okay, it's time to play some Warframe. And then I just had my finger just hovering over the play button. I'm just like, I don't know why, but I can't press play. Like, I can't do it. I don't know why. So I'm like, okay, I need space, so it goes. And then it's gone. And I don't care. It's weird. I thought I'd be like,
Wow.
You
I'm
put
downloaded,
in
but I
massive.
don't have no care anymore.
Brian, before you uninstall whatever, how many hours do you have total?
See, the funny thing is, it's not that much since you guys last asked me, because I maybe have played like 8 hours in the final week, but that's about it. Keep note that that was a week when I was off work. So
When you uninstalled it, did the devs call you? Because I'm sure they probably sent a direct message of like a big red alert. Guy put in like 700 hours, just deleted. What the fuck?
It's like we lost a whale.
Yo, exactly. You know what I mean? It's like this can't happen.
Yo.
Red alert.
For you guys who don't, who may not know, Brian, how many hours did you have? Like 8,000 or something?
3,691 hours.
Damn, son.
Total play time in the last 2 weeks, 2 minutes.
What? Wow.
Yeah.
I get
We're
that.
gonna have an awesome nuts.
Those are like my numbers for the first division. I can understand that though. I didn't delete the division. I can't do it. I can't.
Yo, Brian, man, you changed, man. You changed, man. I remember when you was that little kid living next to Big Ben, man. You changed, kid. You changed.
Jay, you ain't the same one.
You ain't the
don't got
same
juice
motherfucker,
now.
son.
You ain't got the juice.
You ain't. I remember when you was a little kid playing by the Thames River, man. You sold out, man.
God damn, right?
Oh, man.
Shit, next you know, he's gonna come back and say he likes Liverpool and shit. He's gonna be like, yo, I watch football now. I'm a true UK guy. I'm like, whoa.
No, I just figured that the game was just taking like way too much off my time, and it's like, hey, I have tons of games to play. Let's try something else.
Wow,
So
that's actually
so
very
far this year,
yeah.
I'm playing some Rage 2.
Excuse me?
Reach.
All thanks to Xbox Game Pass.
Wow. Whoa. See, Brian, you changed. You changed, man. You changed.
Game Pass, great service.
Fuck is
That
this?
3 months thing. Okay, because I got the 3 months for £1, so I'm still in that trial period. So I'm just cramming in as many games as I can right now.
Telling you, it's gonna pull you in.
Even so,
Adam,
Brian,
you hear this shit, man?
I hear it. I'm telling you, it's changing people. It's like when people get reborn, the born again Christians and stuff.
Yo,
it's the same shit.
Brian's
He got dipped in the Xbox water. And whoop, he came
Xbox water.
It was green and shit.
Game Pass. Oh,
Yo, Brian's a born again gamer, son.
exactly. They got him. Uncle Phil was there dipping his head. We got you, bitch.
Oh.
yo, man, I've been hyping up Game Pass since it came out.
Everybody, we all have. Well, not all of it, but the ones that do have it and that enjoy it, we use it.
Yo, I've had Game Pass. I never even used the shit.
You see, well,
Yeah, but you're different.
Yeah, I am
We
different.
have-
I don't even play games, right?
You're gonna be doing it for
You
this
don't play
weekend.
no
Fuck is
games.
video games? Who plays that
You
shit?
said you're doing it for this weekend. Remember, we're
Right.
doing the Crackdown 3
We are? Since when?
with Brian.
Okay, go ahead. I didn't know about this. What the fuck is this?
Wait, what?
Now, Adam's trolling me right now. Man.
Adam's having a bit of flashback knowledge because that was
I do.
that was actually last year when he didn't show up.
No, we had talked about this when Brian was talking about he was using Game Pass and he was playing Crackdown 3, and I was like, yeah, that's good, and we could do the co-op on that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do remember.
Yeah,
What happened,
and they were
Adam?
like, yeah, we'll
What
do that
happened?
for next year,
Yeah.
and there's a next year.
Okay, I guess we got. Yeah,
Adam. We talked about streaming with Adam for a while. Adam's
Yeah.
a-
Anyway,
I'm
you know what?
starting to-
By the way, let's cut this off because we still got more questions. Chris, holidays.
What I do every year, Kristen and I come back to New York, see family, hang out with friends. We love seeing you guys. We went to Valentino's, had dinner.
yeah, man.
I saw my buddy, my buddy Mike, and we had beers over
Your
at this
buddy
German
Mike.
spot. Yeah, well, there's two Mikes. There's two. So I gotta. No.
By the way,
That's my-
I'm not gonna blow up the spot, but it's kind of funny that both our mics are also of the same political affiliation, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very interesting.
Damn communist.
No,
Yo, I hear it. I hear your dog whistles. I get it. Shit.
oh man, you're crazy.
Yeah, no, but it was a good time,
Good stuff. And Adam, man.
Well, I'm the family man now. My life's changed, so I took time off because the kids have off.
You listened to Guile. You went home and
That's
I'm a
it, yeah,
family
exactly.
man.
I got a haircut and everything. No, but I incorporate them into my world with all this. My daughter for Christmas, she made me a Pac-Man mug. So she gets it, and then I played a lot of Tony Hawk. That's what we did. I plugged in the Xbox 360 so they could play the open world versions of Tony Hawk. Both kids got a kick out of it because we don't have any of that now. That's not a thing. So they were amazed by it, and that's pretty much it. That's usually how I like to spend things now, just to play. So, I reviewed this chair. That's the E-Wing chair.
Yeah.
That was cool. That's going up tomorrow on the Coalition, so check that out. And I did some more writing. I did my top 5 beat 'em ups on the Switch because the Switch is flooded, man, every week. For those who are up to date with that, they know the eShop every week's got 20, 30 games. Junk, some quality, but a lot of it's fluff that were like more mobile ports from phones and stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, and then, majority of the time just trying to that. And I have a lot of new stuff I haven't started yet. I still haven't played Days Gone, Devil May Cry 5. I played some Outer Worlds. I want to get back into that, but it's just, I don't know. It just takes time.
Yeah, right, for sure. All right, man. Hey, Carlos, just do me a favor. Whatever new questions come in, just throw them into our document there. I think it's
okay.
Just do that.
And,
actually, let's do the contest, people. So Manny,
I saw a few more names pop up in here. Now we have like 17 people, so I'm just gonna add those in. I had maybe like a little half than that.
You want to?
Are you doing the wheel thing again?
Yeah, Manny. You want us to do another question? Then we could decide.
Yeah, do another question and then I'll pull in some more names.
All right, let's do this. So the next question is from Band Bros, who we know as he has a bunch of AKAs. Carlos, you know who this is. Sergio. Anyway, so his question is: with Ninja Theory, will Ninja Theory turn Hellblade 2 into a console-selling first-party action title, or will it still maintain its walking sim-like feel from the first game? Not really a walking sim. Like there was still action in it, but obviously we can't really say what the hell they're gonna do with it. I hope they turn it into a God of War style type of game where it could actually sell some Xboxes. That would have
cool. A big larger budget now, so yeah, we should expect that.
Yeah, hopefully, but we'll see. They could also just decide to just do what they did before, which was also successful for them. Just to be fair, but we can't. We don't really know for sure. What do you say, Manny? Go ahead.
Will they turn it into like a full-on
action game?
Actually, that's what I feel like it's going to sort of turn into. I feel like it's going to get a little bit more. It's going to get a little bit more maybe enslaved or Devil May Cry-ish than the original Hellblade. Now they have the budget for that. They'll probably put a little bit more combo things in there, maybe a little more puzzle stuff. I think it's going to resemble a little bit more of some of their other titles because of just the way it's sort of gone. And I don't think that the game is going to be a 6-hour experience like it was originally either.
No, it's going to be a lot bigger.
It's going to be a bigger experience. What if the whole game was because it doesn't say Senua's Sacrifice or anything in this now.
Senua's Saga.
What if it's definitely sounding like a franchise idea. Mm-hmm. And I definitely think it sounds like it's going to be a bigger game just by the word saga.
Yeah.
What if the first one was just like a proof of concept type of thing? Like maybe they were pitching it and nobody wanted in, which is why they self-published and say, you know what, we're going to prove you all wrong. Watch this shit.
The original idea for the first game was to prove that they can make a smaller game, but have like that AAA polish that they are kind of known for.
Yeah. They definitely succeeded at that,
I mean, they literally got bought by Microsoft because of it.
All right. Anybody else want to chime in on this? I just went to the guys that played the game here for that one. Brett, if Brett was here, he probably could chime in too. All right. Manny, you ready or you want to?
Oh no, I'm good. Let me just
all right.
pull
okay.
Let me just
pull
up the Discord thing, and then
let me get you up here. We're gonna do our wheel of. We got to give this thing a name, by the way, because I keep doing the old Animaniacs thing. Wheel of Morality. Yeah, Wheel of Morality. Turn.
Wheel of Misfortune.
Okay, where is this thing now?
Dun. Oh, did you get a loss on you, man?
Yeah, well, I have because I have a lot of screens open. Okay, there we go.
All right. So all right. So we're gonna pick a winner at random. Try to make it fair for everybody.
All right.
Who else is
We
in?
have our,
Yeah, we got it.
our wheel of the wheel.
Wheel of morality. Turn. Show us the lesson. We got. Oh shit, Kobe's in here. Excuse me.
Yep, we got some peoples. All right, so let's run.
Spin that shit, man. Let's go. All right, and our winner is. Wait. Oh,
Subgator.
Oh shit.
Mr. Gator, you are the proud owner of a Death Stranding poster, and I'll include a little something extra for you just for fun.
Yo, by the way, shout out to Subgator. He's been joining us for our Monster Hunter streams, man.
Yep.
That's fucking awesome. Congrats, dude.
Congratulations, Mr. Gator.
All right, people. There you go. Yeah, congratulations. We're gonna do this
Gator,
every episode, man.
Gator, you hit me up on PM on Twitter or whatever else you have on me, and we'll get you set up with a Death Stranding poster.
That shit was close as a motherfucker, man.
It literally went in the middle.
Yeah. By the way, Colby could have won twice. I just realized his name is up there twice. What's going on, Colby? All right. Colby's been on the show too. Yeah, man. Thank you guys. We're gonna have another contest on the next episode of Throwdown. You already know, man. Subgator goes, yatta. Why did I have to say it all high pitched like that?
I don't know. Why did you? Maybe you know something we don't know. Yeah. Maybe that's how he sounds. Who knows?
No, man. That's because of Chun-Li.
We know how he sounds.
Yeah, we heard it. He sounds like Chris, man. He sounds like a Mexican Chris.
Whoa.
What is true? Listen to the stream.
I'm just happy that you finally recognized that.
No.
I've been saying that since day one.
No, I didn't recognize it until I started focusing on it. I was like, oh shit, he does sound like Chris. But like, hey,
hey, bro,
hey, a wild Brett appears.
Hey, I got it working. What's up, people?
What's going on, brother?
What's up?
Discord was being a bitch.
Yeah, shout out to your cat, by the way, licking himself back there.
That cat?
Yes.
The original, the OG podcat.
Nice. By the way, Brett, Colby's in the chat, man.
Oh, what's up, Kojak?
Awesome. All right, man, let's get into the next question. This is the first of our big ones. Shout out to B. Will for submitting these questions, which are very timely, considering what's going on in the gaming industry at the moment. I gotta take a drink because my man has some long-ass questions. All right, so he goes, what's up, guys? I usually write a super long opinion / question like once a year, but when I heard this new PlayStation E3 rumor combined with the Xbox next gen news, I had to write in to speak my mind and hear what the panel has to say. All right, his first question. So the first bit of news was the rumor that PlayStation is going to skip E3 again. Now, from my point of view, it isn't that big of a deal. More than ever, news is digital, and an announcement at PAX or at the Game Awards can move the needle just as much as an E3 press conference. It's just that E3 is the place where expectations are higher, so there's more pressure to impress. And if you don't impress, you can lose as much momentum as a good conference can gain you. I don't think any major companies need E3 anymore. It's just a tradition at this point. But listening to the opinions of Tony and others who have frequented the conferences for years, it isn't nearly as enjoyable an experience as it used to be. So why go? If we're getting next-gen news through Wired magazine interviews, why is E3 that important? I say skip it. Sell the PS5 in as many details over as long a period of time as you need as possible. Why be pressured to show your entire hand by June 2020? What if you want to undercut the other company no matter what and want them to show their hand first? What does the panel say? Would skipping E3 again be a huge mistake for Sony? All right, before we answer, I want to give a shout out to Paris Lilly. Him and I had a discussion about this during the weekend. He got a lot of flack for his view. His stance is that Sony does not need to be at E3 at all. They could just do their own thing and get the same amount of impact. I initially disagreed with him. I still think it's a bit of a mistake for Sony not to be there. But at the same time, if they do like a PlayStation experience during E3, kind of offsets that. But yeah, what do you guys think about Sony? Because this is a rumor right now that Sony's skipping E3 again this year, the year that a new console is dropping. So what do you guys think?
They don't need it.
Yeah, you don't think it's a mistake then?
No, they can do their own event. They don't need it. Remember what it was like. We were talking about this. What E3 was originally for, just like what CES was originally. But this was just showcase stuff. I mean, they're a known brand. They're the king brand now, regardless of what people say. I mean, just based off of sales. So their product is known and it's out there. So they don't need it. Plus, they have their own events now. Back in the day, that wasn't the case. Back in the day, the only major event you had to showcase your product was an E3. But that you don't need to do that anymore. And as we've seen with EA and a few others, they now do their events outside of E3 in the same area or whatnot, but it's still not part of it. So they don't need to do that. And with the day and age that we're living in now, where we get all our news instantly, they could that same day just say, hey, boom, bing, on your phone, live stream on Twitch or on YouTube, and we could watch a whole event. And that's what people want. So there's no need for it.
Yeah, and also the more I think about it, right? Let's just say, theoretically speaking, E3 is going on, and then Sony that same week has their own PlayStation experience, and they announce the PS5. No one's going to care about E3 anymore.
There you go.
No one's going to give a fuck about E3 anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
All eyes are going to be on Sony at that point.
It's a different time. Different time.
So yeah, Paris, I agree with you now. Like, after thinking about it, because again, my initial thought was like, how the hell can you not be at E3 with a new console coming out? I was like, Tony, this isn't E3 like it used to be anymore, bro. It's changed now.
The E3, from what I understand with you and other people, it's mainly about networking, getting together with people, getting to know contacts, establishing new contacts. But when they're big boys like PlayStation and the way they've been killing it the past few years, they don't need it.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. The games, me playing games at E3 is actually the thing I least look forward to.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's not necessarily I don't think it's directly about the journalists, though, is it?
No, it's not. Brett, what's your thoughts on this? I know you still think E3 is relevant and all that.
All right, I'm gonna try a horse to water approach. It's probably gonna blow up in my face incredibly badly, but fuck, it'll be entertaining. Let's go on a journey, Tony.
Oh boy.
Riddle me this: why was Marvel more successful than DC when they surpassed them?
Comics or movies?
Comics back in the Stan Lee days.
Oh, because basically they made heroes that people could identify with. They weren't like
that was part of it. Do you remember the other part though?
No, that's the only thing I can think of. What am I missing?
Excelsior.
Oh, Stan Lee. Oh yeah, the marketing man. Yeah, the marketing man. Yeah, DC didn't.
Stan Soapbox.
That's right. Yeah.
Stan built a community where there was just fragmentation before that. And that outreach and that community helped propel Marvel to be the wildly successful giant that they are today, or were today before they just got bought by Disney, whatever. I think that it's important because, yes, it's not always fun for the journalists. Yes, it's not always fun for the consumer. But I think it's really important to have a sort of community outreach. And more companies are just relying on Twitter. They just have some PR jackass behind a desk shooting off auto responses and trying to be cheeky. It doesn't feel real. And maybe it's just me, but does that feel like Sony is interacting with any of you? I feel further distanced from most of the companies these days than when I did growing up.
Brett,
when we had PlayStation Magazine.
Yeah. Yo. Can I chime in real quick? Because you're talking about community. That's exactly what PlayStation Experience is. Like, you actually see the executives walking the show floor and meeting fans. So isn't that like,
it is, but it's an isolated experience. Instead of going to the same playground and playing with everybody else, they're going to put on their own little show, which kind of feels more isolated. It doesn't. There is no gaming community, and this is rapidly happening.
They have such a large community. That's the whole reason why they're doing it. They're trying to say, "Hey, we can fill this stadium by ourselves. We can fill this
they don't need. They feel like they don't need community outreach, and so they're not trying. And that pisses me off because it reminds me of old Sony, the Sony that I fucking hated.
Yeah,
like they're losing the reason that they brought me into the fold in the first place. Quality first-party games. Public engagement, treating their customers right. You remember the fucking hack happened, and they were so apologetic, and they gave us a whole bunch of shit. Like it was a clusterfuck
for a year and stuff like
that. Yeah, but they fucking tried, and I don't feel like, and maybe it's just that they don't have to. I don't feel like Sony's trying real hard anymore. And granted, that's a small thing, but it does carry weight. And I'm not saying that them not being at E3 is the end of the world, but it is kind of the best place for them to practice some sort of community outreach.
But the thing, how is that community outreach when the tickets cost so much? How is it community outreach when for the most of the decade E3 was totally closed off to the rest of the gaming community?
Because they're still swimming in the same pond that everybody else is.
To me,
it's not directly about talking with the consumers. And that's community outreach, maybe a pretty poor way to explain this. They don't seem involved. They don't seem involved in the gamosphere. They become their own little satellite operation and distance themselves from everybody else.
Come, and then also number two is like, how come nobody's even throwing some Nintendo into this situation? Remember when they were like, "Oh, we're not doing any press conferences, or we're not going to have any preferences."
I talked a bunch of shit on Nintendo at that point.
We're not going to have any other games except for Zelda on the show floor.
Because we all bitch about that. We bitch about it constantly. We eye roll and go, "That's fucking Nintendo." They just have such a long track record of being assholes that it's just par for the course. It doesn't fucking excuse them. It doesn't make it seem like they're not, on their fucking golden chariot above the rest of us. Like it's fucking bullshit.
I also think the part of it, and this may, that maybe you might, what's part of what you might be feeling is also, I noticed this with Japanese companies. There doesn't seem to be very much connection when it comes to Japanese studios. They always seem to be a little bit separated. And whether it's language barrier or whatever, it just always feels like it's very sort of surfacey.
Yeah. And that's, I feel like, the weird thing here is I realize it's all smoke and illusions. Like, I realize that E3 isn't better for the journalist. It's not better for the consumer. It's not really better for the company. But there is something to be said for everybody coming together and being on one show floor. Just that alone shows a certain amount of inclusiveness. And I guess it'd be better to illustrate the opposite. Like, to me, this looks like PlayStation locking themselves in their ivory tower, and I don't like that. This feels the opposite of Stan's soapbox to me. Like they don't want to be part of what everybody else is doing. They don't want to be included. They want to do their own special thing. If you don't have the time to make it, or if you can't make it, or you don't view in, fuck you. We don't care. It just feels like they're doing the minimal effort, and that's I feel like.
No, I was going to say, did you feel that way when EA did the same thing, when they broke off and started doing their own event around E3?
I kind of hate EA already, so...
Okay, but Tony, it's the same thing, though, isn't it?
It is the same thing.
Yeah. Didn't EA still have some of their games at E3?
No,
not really.
They moved everything off the
all of it.
They moved all of it off.
None of that stuff was there?
No, they had their own thing.
They had their own thing.
No, I know they had their own event. I wasn't sure if they still had games.
They weren't doing all the
nothing.
So EA already set the precedent for what Sony.
What about with Microsoft when they do their stuff?
But
none of their stuff was actually at E3 at all. It was all relegated to whatever place that they're having their event at.
EA Play.
For Microsoft, I know you're going to toss Microsoft in there, where essentially they're not at E3. I mean, to be honest, Microsoft has already sort of pulled the cord already.
Yeah, Microsoft
before
left,
even
right?
Sony did.
Long time ago.
Left, yeah.
No, I know Microsoft left, and but they left after Sony did, didn't they?
Sony left after them. They left first.
Oh, did they?
First.
When they got there with that theater, and once they did their branding and made it the Microsoft theater.
Yeah, so everybody's leaving, so Sony's not really like they're not.
No, and I'm not mad at Sony, despite what it sounds like. Yes, I'm pissy about the whole thing, and I'm just throwing it everywhere. It's not just Sony, but Nintendo did it. And Microsoft did it, and now Sony's fucking doing it, and now everything is just in its own little sphere, and it feels like everything's gotten too far away from each other. The world is almost the world of video games has almost gotten too big because of the way that it seems like everything's not consolidated. People aren't talking about it. I don't know if this. I've actually sat back and thought about if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Like, take it like this: when we were growing up, Tony, we had a choice of 5 different cartoons to watch, right? And so now as adults, we all fucking remember Thundercats because we all fucking watch Thundercats and Voltron and shit like that. Or at least there's some crossover. Now everything is just so separated and isolated that you find these little tiny niche communities, and that's all you ever run into. You don't have that zeitgeist surge, and maybe that's a good thing just because we have more options, but it doesn't feel like gaming is a collective like it used to be.
But to be fair, though, that's happening with everything now.
Everything.
And I've noticed that. I've noticed that for a while. It's like you said, back in the day, right? Remember when Seinfeld had its final episode, right? Millions of fucking people watched it, right? Because we were all watching the same shit back in the day. Nowadays, you can have a YouTuber that has like 2 million subscribers and nobody's heard of him. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just gaming. And Brett, I totally feel where you're coming from. It's like we are culturally becoming like, you know, unglued from each other because entertainment did keep us together. So now everything's just kind of just branching off. And gaming is not different than like movies or whatever. You know, it's like how many of these communities don't you have? Even like Carlos's favorite community, anime. How many different sub communities of anime aren't there out there? You know, back in the day, everybody knew the same fucking anime. You know, now it's like all this shit. So it's just happening to everything.
Services, and they create their own.
Especially back in the day, because in the U.S. we didn't get it. We didn't get everything.
Yeah, we didn't get everything.
We didn't get everything.
Yeah, we got 6 animes and we liked it.
And we liked it.
we got 3 good anime and 3 other like really lousy anime.
Yeah.
And weren't they late? Weren't they like a year
they were
delay?
years.
They were very delayed.
So Brad, my point is like I feel where you're coming from, and I don't disagree with like I guess the heart of what you're saying, but it's just happening with everything now. It's kind of it's sucky, but it's just something you gotta accept, you know.
Can I ask?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
And I guess this is like it's multiple questions, and I guess this is part of this important questions that needs to be asked. Are we discussing whether it's smart for Sony not to do it because of repercussions to their product, or because Brett, I don't know. I think Brett has taken it in a tangent where he thinks that it's worse for the overall collective.
I've been known to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to see what take we're gonna do.
Nah, I see what you're doing. You know, let's focus on Sony specifically. Although the larger, you know, the conversation we just had is actually a good conversation to have. Let's focus on Sony. Will it hurt Sony if they're not at E3?
Second question, which is directly correlated to that. Are we just talking about E3 press conference, or are we talking about them being in the show floor?
I'm going to go with overall. You know,
just the press conference. Like, you don't have to be on the show floor. You can be in like a side, as long as you're part of the event. That's where I think I draw the line. Even if that means like we're not on the floor, we rented a theater 2 blocks down. Yeah. If you're fucking at E3, then you could walk the extra 2 blocks. It kind of like some of the shit like when we came to visit you in New York Comic Con, Tony. Like some of the shit was held in little satellite outsides, but it was still part of the event.
Yeah. That's what Microsoft did. They were down the block, and EA used to be down the block. Now they're in fucking the other side of Hollywood.
They're in Hollywood.
Yeah, but where's Sony gonna be?
Who knows? We don't know yet.
Fucking halfway across the world.
They could be, you know.
They're not even going to be in the goddamn city.
They'll be at the Walmart parking lot. They'll set up.
They could be down the block.
The Walmart.
They can do just like what is it?
Devolver takes a parking lot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they take
across
up a
the street from the convention
I love the
center.
Devolver booth, man.
To be honest, the Devolver's deal is a pretty awesome deal. Like you get in there, you do your thing. They have everything set up in trailers. It's pretty punk.
And they give you free beer, man.
Yeah, they have food and beer.
Dude, that's extra stuff.
It's a barbecue.
As a matter of fact,
Devolver's like a barbecue.
Yeah,
that's
but Devolver encourages journalists like, yo, are you tired from E3? Come hang out with us. You don't even have to see the games. Just come out and drink. I love Devolver,
dude,
man.
And that's my friend Pedro.
You know?
See, dude, Tony, that's exactly what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah.
You love Devolver because they put in a little bit of extra effort.
Yeah,
free beer.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, if I
go to fuck you E3 by the way because they didn't want to pay that money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, okay, look at it this way. How many people
I see what you're saying, bro. I know what you're saying.
Love Witcher for the extras that it gives you. Like, you know how easily fans respond to just a little bit of love.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. But anyway, Brett, since you're talking, do you think it'll hurt Sony?
No, not financially. No. No, my point was more like I feel like it hurts gaming more overall.
Got you. All right. What about the rest of you guys? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that it's gonna hurt Sony either. I think it'll just I think it just means that there will be something else to take its place.
Well,
I don't
short
think it's,
short run or long run.
For this year, just for this year.
For this year, yeah.
Okay.
Long run. I'm out of E3. It's only like
I think E3 is about to be over this decade. I think by the end of this decade, E3.
You also got to remember that also Sony did have some issues with the ESA, and that's one of the reasons I've heard why they weren't at E3 this year.
Interesting.
Well, they don't. Well, first, they don't need E3.
No, they don't.
And second, it's like PlayStation 5 is still gonna outsell their major competitor. Like I don't. It's like they don't need it for anything. I'm surprised they don't use it at least for a press conference, just because I'm not free, but like the publicity within that time frame. Because I mean, all the other companies, I'm pretty sure Microsoft's going to have a press conference, Nintendo's going to have a direct, and all the other companies, Devolver Digital and all of them. So I don't see why Sony shouldn't have a press conference at least during that time. Even it doesn't even have to be directly E3 related. It's just around the same time frame, so they can pimp out the games and the new software that's coming out for the new console. But yeah, I guess they'll just do their own thing again.
I'd be so mad.
Because last year's understandable. They didn't have a press conference because they had nothing to show.
Yeah,
they really had nothing to show. All the games that are on the pipeline, they already showed before, so they didn't want to do a rehash of all that. And I guess they had issues with the ESA too. But this year, it's just like you're releasing a new console. First, you're gonna have to unveil it, which I predict is gonna be March 4th.
That's right. There's a reason for March 4th, by the way. Why is that, Carlos?
Yo, man, 20 year anniversary of the release of the PS2 in Japan.
There you go.
So it'd be pretty neat if they do an unveiling at that time.
That would be cool.
Yeah, especially because I don't think they're gonna cover everything in that press conference when they unveil the system. They're probably just gonna get to the hardware kind of aspect of it.
How the fuck are we 50 minutes into this episode? Yo, okay, we got to move on.
Because it probably still counts the early part before.
Well, yeah, but we only did that for like 10 minutes, all right, let's move on because we got a lot of questions. And B-Will has another epic one here, people. All right. Now, as far as Xbox not having any console exclusives in the first year, what the fuck are they thinking? Why would they tell people that? I fully support Xbox's consumer-friendly approach since getting their asses handed to them this generation. So they're taking the steps of being honest and telling people what to expect. That's honorable and generous and wonderful and stupid. Why? Because you are already down 3-1 to your main competition as far as install base. It's safe to assume that people who are looking to adopt next gen will automatically give their current system's successor a good look. Now, add in that PlayStation had 3 unimpeachably top shelf experiences this generation that automatically lend themselves towards sequels. Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, God of War. All Sony has to do is announce these sequels are coming, and people are going to be ready to buy a PS5, not because of fanboyism, but because these were outstanding gaming experiences. Xbox didn't give us that this generation, and PlayStation did. So what is Microsoft going to do for us? Save us money with Game Pass? Yes, it's a fantastic service, a wonderful deal, and it's a must-have. But if I can play Game Pass on my PC, I don't need an Xbox to play it. So why would I be buying a new Xbox? I want Xbox to keep pace with PlayStation and keep things competitive, because I truly believe that gives us consumers the best possible gaming outcome. But Xbox seems like they're falling behind already. So what do you guys think? How do you see a new Xbox with muddled branding introduction and no console exclusives faring against PlayStation in November? Go ahead, Adam.
Well, they didn't say that. What they said is that for the new development, the new studios, they still have, we know Halo is a launch title. And they said they have some other ones. I'm assuming the other one meaning Forza. So they said they're stable ones. They're major brand ones.
Those are going to be on PC.
No, but those are still going to be a launch title. He was saying, they said that they're not going to have any
what he was saying, no exclusives at launch.
He said console exclusives.
That's still, well, it's still coming out for it. There was a lot of games that are not coming. And then what they also said is, and this is one of the things we were talking about, is that if you purchase a game, especially when it comes to the digital, remember, their exclusives carry over their front and back. So if you get, let's say, a Halo for your current system, that Halo will still unlock and work for your next system. So if you do get the next one. And then I'm also assuming that the xCloud by that point will be available, since it's been beta by that point, it'll be like 2 years.
I'm gonna break down that entire question into one simple question. What's the reason to get an Xbox Series X at launch?
Because they have exclusives, even though you guys don't want to call them exclusives.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing everybody wants to conveniently forget about. It's not about the boxes. Mm-hmm. Historically, companies lose money on their consoles.
Yeah, they barely make anything.
That is very normal. All they're trying to do is get an install base. So every single one of you that's like, fuck Microsoft, I'm just going to play on my PC. That just means they already have you in their clutches. You are already part of that market group. You already own. You're already part of the system without
That
even
doesn't answer
buying
the
a
question.
console.
And there's a large majority of people that just don't do the PC base. It's still not the dominant market when it comes to games. As much as people say, "Oh, PCP, that's great. I love it. I agree with you," but a large majority of people just want a console. That's what they know. They want to take this box, plug it in the TV, and play. They don't want to get a PC and do all that.
I have a prediction for this console. I have a feeling, it alludes to what Brett is talking about. It's just their service is, something that's it's going to be the brand. I think the box, it's going to be, we're gearing towards more of these consoles, leaning more towards a PC kind of experience, and I feel like the Xbox Series X is going to be even closer to that, even more so than a PS3, a PS5. PS5 is just going to be a closed environment to the PlayStation experience. I think this Xbox Series X is going to be even more so than that. I don't know if this was a rumor, but I heard that the next Xbox might even do Steam.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
That would be insane.
Yo, Carlos, the day that I boot up my Xbox and I see a little Quicken app on there, then I know the shit's gone full PC. Because then that means I can do my taxes through my Xbox.
I did my taxes on my Xbox.
There you go.
It would be a console exclusive if you had Quicken.
I think the short of it is that Microsoft just wants you in their ecosystem. It's not about having the console anymore. If you're gaming on PC, that was what Phil Spencer was talking about when he said it's the software that's important, and people weren't understanding what he was talking about. It's like, well, why are you making this box? And we even said the same thing, but he's just accounting for everyone. It's like, if you have a baller PC and you have Game Pass, you're good. Yeah. If you don't want to, if you're like Manny and me and you don't want to sit in front of a computer all day and I want to go in the living room and I care enough that I want to play Halo with my buddies, okay, then I got an Xbox.
It's just a component to their services.
Well, I mean, and this is what we've always been talking about from the beginning on this show, where it's like Microsoft is not, Xbox or Microsoft is not doesn't care about the boxes anymore. It's not about a box. It's about what and as we also said this too. It's really not the consoles that these companies make the money on. A lot of them, they're operating at a loss. And then it takes years for them to come back from that. But if you have if you have a portion of the community that's decided, okay, we want to just do games. We don't care about the Xbox. We can play this on our computer, then fine. And then you have the gamer guys who's like, hey, you know what? Fuck PCs or this. I'm gonna buy this thing on the console underneath my TV. I don't need to deal with my graphics card or whether my CPU can run this. And I think that's what they're going for.
It.
Yeah. By the way, I'm gonna say I need to just say
it's not a console exclusive. It's a platform exclusive.
Yeah, that's a great fucking way to put it. By the way, I'm gonna say this right now, because I'm the fucking host, right? Fuck that. We're gonna go as long as we need to, because I got some shit to say after this. It's a question to throw at you guys. But anyway, keep going. Brian, what do you make about this, man?
Real quick to shout out Glorious War, because he gave us a lot of bits.
Oh yeah, shout out to Glorious War, man. He's been throwing money at us all night. Clink, 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 clink,
Damn, I feel like do I gotta dance now?
Making it rain Australian pennies and shit.
Not doing camgirl shit.
Just to read his comment, he said it's about enthusiast next gen only games to take advantage of the new CPU and SSD, which will change game design. Okay, I don't agree with that, but okay.
Could you read that again?
Yeah, read that again, bro.
It's about enthusiast next gen only games that take advantage of the new CPU and SSD, which will change game design.
I agree. That's what kind of I've been talking about. Like, all we do is put shinier textures on shit. Like, we don't have the horsepower and we don't have the ingenuity to actually change the way that we play games. And with an SSD and more power under the hood, you have the option. I could say voxels again, but I just mean more like, quicker load environments. Like, if you don't have to have an environment cache, then you can pay more attention to the environment that you have. And if you're running on SSD, then you can just practically quick jump into the next one, which could change the way you develop world design. Maybe you make things more interactive.
Yeah.
It opens the door to possibility.
I just want the price to drop on SSDs in general. I feel like it's still expensive, and it's probably still going to be expensive even when these consoles launch. That's
I'm
what
sure it
sucks
will
about
be.
all this. It's like,
Okay, you know what? I'm going to just bring it up already, right? Because
oh shit.
basically, you know, and this is not a rumor. They already said it this weekend that basically, Halo Infinite, which is the next Halo, you're going to be able to play that on even your old school Xbox One, right?
Yep.
And Brett, this is something you and I talked about. This is going to hold back development of these games. They won't be able to do all this ill shit in these games anymore, except just make them look pretty. You know?
Yeah. They're
That's
like,
my problem with this shit. You know?
They have shiny, shinier, and shiniest.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Right. By the way, hold on.
wait,
Whoa. Shiny, right? Brett, let's break this down. Shiny, that's Xbox One, right?
Uh-huh.
Shinier, Xbox One X, right?
Yep.
Shiniest, Xbox Series X.
There you go.
Yeah, man, we got this.
How sweaty do you want your character to look?
But then what about the Diamond Edition, the Platinum Edition, which I guess would be your Butter PC?
The Butter P.
Yeah, Butter
That's-
PC.
Oh, Brett, what do we call that one then?
You
Platinum.
see? That's what I'm saying. But wait a minute. But from what I understand, listen. But from what I understand, from the way Uncle Phil and them were talking about this, is that if you buy it on one, it carries over to all.
Yeah, it does.
Because
But that's
it's
what I'm
all
saying.
in
It's going to
So
stunt
if
game
you buy-
development, though.
If you
Yeah,
buy-
so you can get a shiny game, but what if you don't want a fucking shiny game?
But that's the thing. But that's the thing. Let's say if you get it on Xbox One, it's like, you know what? I only got enough money to get the shiny game. I don't have all that money in the for the big consoles.
No, I
but
get
if you
that.
ever do get it, then you already have a game because then that game will be there and you download it. You don't get double dip
Yeah,
charge.
but-
we
Yeah,
do now.
no one's arguing that.
But
But
okay,
again,
you
by the way,
have to agree with this.
go
Hold
ahead,
on.
Brett, because I
You
think
agree
you and I
with
are
this.
about to say the same shit right now. Go ahead, bro.
If you buy a next gen console, you deserve a next gen experience, not a
Motherfucker.
rehash lax gen one.
Well, it's going to have a bunch of bells and whistles.
Was that what you're about to say, Tony?
That the other
Yes,
one
it was. That's
We
why I
know
said
this.
motherfucker.
But you know what? There's something that goes against all of that, and that was something that Call of Duty did way back when they did it for the Xbox One and PS4, and they still had one for PS3 and for the Xbox, and a whole feature was taken out. They took out the campaign completely on the Xbox PS3. It was just multiplayer, and they sold it at the same price. So we could still see that. They could be that, yeah, you get their early versions, but it's not going to have everything. It's not just a texture thing. We're talking feature-wise. There could be a bunch of things that are not in there. They could easily do that.
Yeah, but because you got to make all these games like comparable to each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm missing the word. You know what I'm talking about? It's like you can't have one experience that's like too much better.
It
than the
depends.
other,
It depends.
you know?
Well, we'll see. We'll see how they announce it, but they don't have to. They don't have to go that route because the fact that we could even play these games on PC right there from a console, that could be a huge jump. In most cases, for most games, it is a huge jump already right now.
Yeah.
Play it on Xbox One and play it on your PC with a 1080.
By the way,
Night
Brett,
and
that
day.
comment you made, put a pin on it because we have a question about that coming up soon. Oh man. All right. Anyway, any other thoughts on this, guys?
I just don't see what the big hoo-ha is. Honestly, it's like I'm seeing people get annoyed at the fact that Microsoft gives you more choice.
They don't like choices.
I don't understand why that's a bad thing. It's like, hey, you get the choice to play the game either on your current console or on a next console. Like, oh, that's fantastic. And then
Because
I hear your argument, Brett, of like, oh yeah, but it'll hold back development. It's like, that's what consoles have been doing for how long? And is that something new? No. And also to add on that, what game design feature is different this gen? Because so far I've not seen anything apart from the
None.
Nemesis system.
No, you're right. It makes me mad.
So hence any like idea of like, oh yeah, it gives them potential use in the future. It's like, yeah, it does, but they're not going to use it. AAA,
I got one.
the AAA industry does not give a damn about that. They just want to shove the same crap to you like the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Honestly, like what AAA game has had any new feature? None.
Not
Any type of innovation comes from the indie series, and the indie games, they don't look that great anyway. So hence, it's a null point in my opinion. So hence, I'm just seeing a whole lot of people get upset at the fact that you get a Halo on your Xbox Series X and your Xbox One, which for the most part, in the world of Microsoft, they win because you buy the game. There's more avenues for you to buy the game.
Here's a wrench into all of this. What version is going to be the one that you can stream through xCloud?
Probably any
Is that
version
going to
you
be
want,
the
right?
lower end
Right,
version, or
the
is that
Series
gonna be-
X.
Well, if
I would
it's a
assume the
Steam version,
Series X.
You think it'll be like a Series X first? You know what I mean?
Well,
'Cause
let's not get ahead of ourselves. We haven't even seen this shit run live. So it's like-
No,
No,
that's-
wait,
yeah,
Tony's played it. Tony, you have it
No, I
on your
haven't.
Android.
What are you talking about?
Oh.
You're one of the few people here
Fake-
that has an Android
fake
phone.
news.
You
Fake
don't-
news, man.
You don't have but it's what I'm saying is that it's available on Android for testing. You're the only one that out of everybody here. We all have iPhone.
No, we don't all have iPhones.
You do. Well, you have an iPhone.
I have an iPhone.
Wait, am I the
Carlos has an iPhone. Chris has an iPhone.
whoa? Am I the only one on the panelists? No, Brett has an Android too. What are you talking about?
No, no.
But Brett blocks a lot of people, so I'm just talking to you.
Damn.
about
Like
when
Brett isn't an idiot. He has an Android too.
So then you can
Yeah, dude.
download the xCloud now for testing. It's available only on Android.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, you see, there you go.
I want to say something, but I can't say it on air, man. Remind me
Before-
afterwards. Go ahead. Because we got to move on. We got a bunch of questions, man.
So yeah, just before we move on, I just want to point out, I think
Fucking
people are just
crazy.
misinterpreting the argument because everybody sits there and like, I mean, how is Microsoft going to get ahead with with no console exclusives, and how are they going to make money? Like that was literally the question. The answer to that question is they actually make more money because you're not taking a loss on the console and you're buying a digital copy of the game. So you're sitting there walking away going, oh man, I really fucked Microsoft over on this one. And they're like, thanks for the extra money.
So wait. So what? I just said that.
No, I know. I'm trying to tie this all up in a bow. Here was the question that was asked. Here is literally the answer. Everything stems from everybody misunderstanding a platform exclusive. I think you guys hit the nail on the head. I think that is the phrase that if you only take one thing away, we should start using platform exclusive.
I think that's what I think they really need to. I mean, they might be even saying that now, but yeah, it should. It's a
Well,
platform
because they
exclusive.
always go Xbox and Windows exclusive, right?
Yeah.
That's how they usually phrase it. But I mean, considering the Xbox is a Windows system, they could just say it's like a Windows exclusive.
Well, that's always been the joke that Major Nelson has said when they were like, "Oh, how come you don't get into the PC market? How come gaming market? Why are you letting Steam run with everything?" He was like, "Steam's running on our platform."
They should develop Halo Infinite for the Xbox 360 and the Xbox original Xbox.
Right now, right? Go.
It's
all the
better.
way
It's
back.
better for the
for the
it's better for the users. It's user friendly.
By the way, Chris, you just nailed something without even thinking about it. Because remember, they have been saying Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive, but now they just said it's just called Xbox, right? So you're right, Xbox and PC and Windows exclusive. That's what it's going to be now. That's going to be the tagline after everything. Xbox and Windows 10 exclusive. you know,
I'll just say platform exclusive.
yeah,
I don't know why they don't say platform exclusive. Like that was the point. I was
they gotta throw
trying to like
Xbox in there,
you guys
you know?
said it, but I really like the platform exclusive. Why don't they just fucking claim your PC as a platform they have? Like, if you want to have big dick swinging power, just be like, well, no. You guys are like, oh, I already got an Xbox in my house. Yeah, that's right. You already do have an Xbox in your house, bitches. It's been there for years and you didn't even know it.
Yeah.
You've been running on our platform. You think we're bitches? You're
it's on your
bitch
phone, son.
Hey, I think the only reason they haven't claimed the term platform is because Sony could also say they have a platform.
That is
Google
true.
says they have a platform. Nintendo says they have a platform.
They have to say
So
Xbox.
everybody has
They
a
have to say
platform.
Xbox.
You have to put a stamp on it. The only stamp that's consistent with all of it is Windows.
Wait, Chris, would you say you have to put an X on it?
You got to put an X on it. You got to brand it.
Yeah, brand that shit, market.
But right in the ass, right in the ass.
They should own the fact, like, we're all sitting here on an Xbox console right now. If you think about it in a way.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's a Microsoft
Or
platform.
Microsoft.
Oh,
Microsoft
platform.
Box.
Remember
Is it
the original name of the of that what it came from? It's the
Direct Xbox. That's right. But anyway, just for the optics of it, do you think it's going to look bad if the Xbox Series X doesn't have any actual exclusives during?
They do though.
Yeah, they do.
What?
I don't think it looks too bad. I think.
Okay.
Spencer already started steering the ship away from those expectations. That he's trying to get everybody to stop thinking of console exclusives.
Exactly.
Right? For
People keep bringing that up. It's like
It only
And
looks
Sony
bad if you
can-
have expectations.
Yeah, Sony can do that because they don't have a software platform outside of PlayStation, right? They don't have a PlayStation service that you can run on PC. So theirs has to be locked to their system as well as Nintendo. Nintendo has their system, and then they put out a few mobile games here and there, but the core stuff you're not going to get that anywhere else but on the Switch, and then whatever precedes it. So with Phil Spencer, he's trying to push that. He's like, don't think of Xbox as this box. He's like, Xbox is Windows, right? It's everything. So you're on your PC, you're still on Xbox, right? So that's what he's trying to change that perception, but it's hard when the messaging is confusing.
You can't make everyone happy because they did. Remember on the Xbox 360, they had where you could play games on PC and you could connect over the network and you could play together. And their Gears, they had their own version of Gears on there. And people were like, well, why can't we just play the exclusives on the PC if we're already connected that way? And blah 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 blah. And so now you have it, and people still bitching, but you don't have exclusive just to the console. Blah blah blah. They would get pissed. Imagine right now if they listened to these fools and said, all right, we're gonna make exclusives just to the console, but yeah, Game Pass and all the other services that we want you to pay monthly, it's not coming to that. You now have to still buy this piece of hardware. People would be up in arms over that shit. So they're trying to give everybody what they want. It's like, yo, here, take it, play it anywhere.
But isn't that what people have been doing forever? You know, it's like, hey, new console comes out, you got to buy the new console to play the new games. That's how it.
They're changing the game, man.
I guess so. You know, I guess.
Xbox doesn't know what to do with gaming. They don't understand how gaming power or how power relates to success. And I think it's just because like they were behind and they thought it was because they didn't have enough power, and then they made it more powerful, and then the least powerful system beat them. So now they're kind of like, well, we can't really disregard the low-end gamers because apparently we got fucked over by them, but we also aren't powerful enough for the high-end gamers. None of this makes any sense.
How did the least powerful console beat them?
Switch?
Switch.
The Switch ain't winning.
Switch surpassed their sales. Xbox sales.
No, but not PlayStation.
No, they're talking about beating them just in general.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
Microsoft.
No, I'm talking about Microsoft. Yeah, I just don't think Microsoft understands system power to sales correlation. Like they just don't know what to do with a lot of power under the hood. I don't think I mean in the sense that like, they mismanage their resources. I mean in the sense that they just don't know where and why it's exactly important.
Yeah. Well, doesn't it come down to the developers? Because I remember, I forgot what third party.
Yeah, if we're talking about first party games, though, that's
the first party. Yeah, but for when it comes to third party, because remember they didn't really have many first parties to go off of. But I know for the third parties, they said they try to keep everything on the same playing field and it's well balanced. So like the PS4 and the Xbox One, they try to keep it balanced. So yeah, Xbox One had more power that they can use, but they want to keep things fair. They don't want to be known as, oh, well, the better version of our game is going to be on this platform as opposed to the other one. Remember, they're in the business, these developers are in the business of selling their game on all devices. Well, so they don't want to play favorites.
And that's kind of my point exactly. Like, I think that's the reason that you're hearing them talking about how they're going to still make new next-gen games for the current-gen system. I bet you that's almost a direct response to Switch's high sales numbers. I mean, it's either them trying to grab more market share or them looking at the sales numbers of Switch versus them and being like, apparently people don't really care about power. So why would we cut out the lowest? It's like, if we have a little less pretty game, people will still fucking buy me and look at Nintendo. So I think they're just really kind of responding to the market in any way that they can. Thus, you get a huge range of systems trying to accommodate everybody. I don't know if that's the best choice. That's a whole other question. But I think that's, in terms of what the fuck is Microsoft doing, that maybe?
Maybe. Who knows, man? This generation is going to be interesting, man.
Yeah,
and there's also another player for next generation, which we'll get to soon. The big
Stadia, the butter system. Too.
Fuck out of here with that, man.
Oh no, not that one. My bad.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here. Thank you, B. Will, for the awesome questions, man. I like to make fun, but I really do like how in depth he goes with these things. And it also fosters us to give long answers, which are awesome. Anyway, moving on. Tennessee Sooner in the house, man. Kind of related to what we've been talking about. What can consoles provide besides exclusives to keep relevancy? As time passes, people will start to just play everything on PC. So what can consoles do to continue to separate themselves? Brian, I want you to answer this one because I don't know.
We need some spreadsheets. Brian,
shouldn't you
bring
guys
up the
answer?
spreadsheets.
My thing
we could bring up the numbers. I mean, the sales, I'm going to find it now because last I checked, PC sales have been dropping drastically. people are not buying PCs. The majority of people are just using their tablets and their
Some
phones.
people are
whoa, whoa, whoa!
installing their
I need to make a correction, Adam. You're 100% right. People are not buying as many PCs anymore, but they are buying. But PC parts are selling like
Yeah,
crazy.
well, parts.
You know,
Okay.
you know,
But
So
that's
they're
the
building.
thing,
They're building.
they're building their gaming PCs. PC gaming is very, very big now. No one can deny that. But here's my thing. But even though PC gaming is big, like he says, everyone's going to go to PC. That's not going to happen. Most
Never.
console players are going to stay on consoles because it's easier. You know,
They've been saying that for decades.
Also, it's kind of better in some ways.
Like
Fight me.
years. Shouldn't say decades.
Okay, you notice how they haven't really answered the question? Now, what else does consoles have apart from exclusives?
Yeah.
They've all said that, okay, people don't like to game on PCs, which is fair, which was why they have consoles. But then that's not why consoles are separated from PCs.
I think, okay, to fairly answer your question, I think it is the service, specifically the service of curating your gaming experience. As long as this is a pay service, somebody should be doing something to make sure that your gaming experience is as pleasant as possible. That should include putting pressure on developers to make, fair systems, non-exploitive, like no exploitive loot boxes, shit like that, and putting in heavy anti-cheating measures. Just basically making sure that as long as somebody is on your service, they're going to have a superior experience. I think that's what it's just going to boil down to. I think you would have seen more people play on PC, but like PC is the Wild West, man. Like even in single player games, like you load your mods in Skyrim in the wrong order and the whole thing fucking crashes. It's not easy, it's not convenient, but it's rewarding. And then you get to, the big thing I always talk about. Like,
Oh, you cut out, Brett.
multiplayer games are they're just not really feasible on PC right now. There's not enough anti-cheat measures for 90% of them to truly be what they should be. You can still do LAN, you can still do local, you can still play games with friends, that's fine, but if you're talking just general, like, want to sit down on my couch and jump into a random Monster Hunter or jump into a random game of Call of Duty, or God forbid jump into Conan or Ark or any other survival game, you're just going to have a better experience. Well, you would have a better experience if fucking consoles ran any of those games, which they can't.
Well, they can, just not well.
No, I'm not even gonna give them that. They can technically look like they run sporadically and periodically. That's the best it gets.
Oh man. Anyway.
So then,
Yeah, go ahead.
so then
Brett.
I guess to answer, I guess that a short form of Brett's answer is not really much, because for the most part, we're paying our PSN pluses, we're paying our Xbox Lives. What are they really giving us for that?
Other than the free games?
Yeah, other than free games.
Which
Come
is
on.
not really free. You
They're
still
not
have
really
to
free.
subscribe to get
I mean-
access to them.
Well, I mean, you
The
do
only
get-
free
you do at
games
least
are
get
Epic
three.
Game Store games. Like, they're literally free. Like, you literally sign in for the account and then you just free. I think only PC gives you free games, because I've not seen an actual free game on PlayStation where it's just like, hey, this game you don't need to purchase anything to
That
have
is
it.
true.
It's just
Those Epic
yours.
games are actually free. That is very
And
true.
they're actually good as well. I mean,
Yeah,
what
they
they're
are.
like Batman Arkham, like last month or month before. Even now, like they like rotate every 2 weeks, and like boom, free game, boom, free game, boom, free game. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yo, Brian, I think we talked about this because I'm waiting for the catch, because I've been copping all these games. I'm like, yo, what's the catch here? You know?
Brian, so you Steam.
Other than giving all of your information to China?
Oh, I get.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
You're on that social credit system, man.
Okay, there's the
Free
catch.
games.
There's the catch.
Brian, do you use Steam's voice chat a lot? Because that shit is hot garbage.
No, because I don't tend to chat with people, and most games I play tend to have in-game chat, which is fine.
Okay, well, their service is hot garbage. I mean,
I've never known. I'd never used it, so.
Uh,
But then again, it's
No,
free.
I
Like,
can-
I'm not
I can-
paying
I can-
rent.
yeah, and you get what
I-
you pay for. At least, okay, I haven't. In fairness, I haven't used this thing in about 2 years. They could have made it amazingly better in that time. up until that point, you never could use any in-service chat. And half the time, the in-game chat was fucking unstable. That's why we have things like Discord that we're on now. It was born from the lack of PC having the ability to do audio communication. You had to go around and do a third-party set or a third-party program or a separate program. So if you're asking what you get, one thing right there is quality communication. I mean, you just fucking party up with somebody, boom, you chat, done.
But then that's like saying that if you pay for a phone, you get better quality communication with your guys on PlayStation. It's the same idea. Like, you're paying for that.
Yeah,
This
and
is
so
something
when
that
you
I
say,
get.
what do you get when you pay money, that's what you get. We're saying the same thing.
Okay, that's fair enough. But what else? Like, see, the thing is, you don't really get anything else unless you really pay for it, and that in itself is a huge weird idea. It's like,
Well, can I
you
ask
guys
you if...
have console players have multiplayer locked behind a paywall. I still find that so weird.
It is weird. It is
Like,
super weird.
You guys are literally paying for the internet that you have. Like, it makes it even weirder on first party exclusive games. It's like, so this game is limited to this platform, and you have to pay to play that game online. It's like, what sort of weirdness is that? Like, that's like them just strong arming you, saying like, hey, just give us more money. Why? Because we say so. Like, at least have online for first party games be like you don't need a sub for that. So like Uncharted 5 or whatever, if that's online, no sub, because why? Like, why? It makes no sense to me. Like, it just seems like them just saying, okay, give us more cash because we say so, and that's it. And no one wants to argue that. So I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine.
Do you think any of the money goes towards software updates to keep the system closed and secure? I mean, every time they come out with a new way to crack the system,
I
they
highly
cash
doubt it.
in 2 days.
I highly doubt it. I honestly highly doubt it. Like, maybe it's like a tiny fraction, but that fraction is at a point where I don't think it's possible to even say, yeah, it's a thing.
That's fair. I don't think the money that you pay is equivalent to the things that you get. I want to say that too, because it sounds like I'm arguing for, system charges, and I'm really not. It's just one of those, like, I understand, maintenance for servers costs some money. I understand that, updating anti-cheat measures and updating the system security takes money, and I understand that, maintaining the server or whatever it is you're doing for the audio takes money. Other than that, I don't know what the fuck you're doing in it. You may be rolling around in it for all I fucking know. Because there's sure as shit a lot left over.
I remember when they first announced PSN Plus, and it's like, you get all these cool things, but now, like, it's like none of that. Like, the free games and online are like the only two things that still exist. Like, I remember them saying like, oh yeah, you get exclusive access to betas, you get like game previews and all sorts, and it's like, but now you just get
You get cloud save shit.
Game. Like, the fact that you literally get cloud saves is ridiculous. I mean, everything else gives you cloud saves for nothing. Fucking Uplay gives you cloud saves.
I know,
think that's the
I
only
know,
thing that
I know.
doesn't give you cloud saves is the Switch, and that's because it's the Switch. I don't know what a cloud is yet, so give
You
them
don't.
time.
Yeah, I'm not excusing them. I'm just sitting there trying to think of all the things that are locked behind the paywall.
It just
Uploading
blows
shit
my mind.
to the cloud is.
Oh my god.
Multiplayer is.
Yeah. All right. Any other, you guys want to jump in on this because we still got more questions. Fuck it. Let's move on. Another
that's
question. Another question from Mr. Tennessee Sooner. I'm reading this from my phone here. I'm a big fan of open world games, but a lot of them have been lazy or empty. Have you played any open world games where the world actually changed? One that comes to mind for me is GTA San Andreas, where the spunk billboard is permanently broken, the gang wars, and the city riot at the end of the game. Oh yeah, so I guess he's asking what open world games have you played that actually have permanent change? Brian, Prototype, that comes to mind. That whole the first game, I don't know about the second, but the first game, progressively the city gets more and more fucked up as you play, and by the end of the game, the city is very different than the one you played as at the beginning. So yeah, there's one I could think of.
I said the Just Cause games, because when you destroy stuff, it stays destroyed. So, like, you literally see like buildings, well, not buildings, but you get like the structures that you tear down, they're just torn down, and that's it. They don't get rebuilt magically; they're just down. I remember that I think when Just Cause 3, I think it is, or 4, you have the option to like reset them all, but that's like an option where like you literally just say, okay, I want to like blow it up again. But apart from that, I don't think you really get that many games where things just stay
No.
broken or things just stay changed. It just seems like you just don't care anymore.
Yeah. What about you guys? Any other games, open world games that actually change over time and stay changed?
Like the overworld alters.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is GTA Online with with the DLCs. Every time they add a major heist, something gets added to the map or changed. Like the Diamond Casino, which there was a casino there that you couldn't go into, and then when they added the Diamond Casino, that area completely changed. And now there's that casino that you can buy property and do missions in. The bunkers, the Doomsday heist, every time they add a major like story plot, like the map changes.
All right.
I don't know if that
Do
counts.
those things change in the actual game too?
No, not in the single player. Like if in the single player, if you go to the Diamond Casino, it looks like it used to look. Like it's under
okay.
construction. It looks like the old one.
How old can these games be?
They could be as old as you want, but they have to
They
be
could
open
be as
world.
old as you want. Yeah.
Yeah, they just have to be open world.
Yo, Brett, did in Red Faction? Red Faction was
That's
open
not open world. That's
Forget
not
it.
open world. Yeah.
Red Dead changes. That is it. I think he's asking about like a player. I think this is the player can do to change the world that stay that way.
Yeah. Well, not a player, like even the game itself, like something. It
Yeah,
does
like
that
in other
changes.
words, it's like if there's a big world changing events that happen inside of the game, and then it actually affects the level.
Yeah.
Affects the whole world of the game.
You're gonna find a lot of that in survival games, my friend.
Open world survival games, those count. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Which one?
like Ark. As much as I hate the base system that it's built on, kind of became toxic. But they do things like a blight is coming to the island and things would turn wintry for a little while, or they would expand different parts of the map. But in terms of just what you see, like if you see a rock over there and you go destroy it, the rock breaks and you can build a small tower where the rock was using the pieces of rock, and that tower is there forever until somebody destroys it, or until the world decays it naturally, or until you take it down. I mean, I guess Death Stranding would count under those same qualifications too.
Well, yeah, because Death Stranding, wherever you walk, if you keep walking in a certain path, you'll start. They have a nice little path system that you can see the path like in the grass and in the rocks and stuff like that. And also, whenever what is it they call a void out happens in the game, you see a giant crater. And then the other thing that happens is, which I don't know, you guys say the game changes later on, and it stays that way, right?
Yeah.
Tony?
I mean, there's a lot of metrics. Like Zelda changes color as you. Or am I thinking of something else? As you get towards the end, there's a lot of games that like the over, I'm Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Like the whole overworld changes as you play through the game. Like Bloodborne gets further through the night
moon
cycle.
Starts turning everything red.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I guess I don't understand the conditions. Like, do you want to be able to affect something like destroy a structure and have it stay that way? Then you want Just Cause. If you want to change the world in terms of like clearing a forest and building a house and it's still being there, then you're looking at open world survival games. If you're looking for games where the overworld changes thematically, you have games like Bloodborne and several other games where the skybox turns red as the game progresses. So there are options, but what's the question?
I mean, Fallout 3 did it. Remember, you could blow up that first town?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
And that stays blown up, and that shit's destroyed.
Yeah, but yeah, it is kind of few and far between to find those games. All right.
I mean, that'd be an interesting thing to see in open world games in the future.
Next gen,
Yeah.
But again, like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about the ability for the player to affect the environment / landscape? Or are we talking about setting off certain key mechanics?
I think he's talking about all the above.
Yeah, I was going to say, why can't we have both?
Yeah, you build a structure,
No?
it stays
Okay.
there, and then you also things that you do within the game as far as story or anything, and that all sticks away to the end, as opposed to just like getting all magically reset. You know, Horizon Zero Dawn. You know, I mean, other than the other than specific story things, the game doesn't change much, right? The open world.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's move on. Black Metal. Actually, we answered both of those. All right. Black Metal Gamer. If you wanted this is an interesting one. If you wanted to turn a new gamer onto retro gaming and actually have them like it, what games would be the best to introduce them to that aren't too primitive to scare them away? This is a very good question.
You're asking a hard question, man.
I would skip to the sad part. I would skip the 32-bit era of gaming.
Manny, I'm going to do you another. I would skip both the 8-bit and 32-bit eras. I would actually start with the 16-bit era. I think those games.
Yeah, I would start with 16 and then
Dude,
and then go.
those games are cruel. They're hard.
Oh, they are
They
hard.
are hard. They
They
are
take a
hard.
different mindset.
But at
They are
least
hard.
aesthetically speaking, they're easier on the eyes. 16-bit games.
No,
You know.
I agree. My answer will fall in the realm, but I would probably say things like Earthbound because you can't throw ghosts and goblins.
No.
No, I mean
Even Mega Man, Mega Man is infuriatingly hard for newcomers.
To be fair,
Oh,
though,
yeah.
he did say too primitive, so I'm assuming he means graphically. You know what I'm saying? Oh, did we just have a problem with?
We had a hiccup.
It's like hiccups. Yeah.
Yo, look at me. Yo, man, he's stuck.
Okay, we're good
Oh,
now.
no, he's back.
Sorry about that, people. We had a Discord hiccup. That was weird.
That's weird.
okay.
So yeah, so when he says primitive, I'm assuming graphics. He's not talking about difficulty, although difficulty is something to consider.
I'm
when you talk
saying
about-
I'm saying
yeah.
I'm saying like 16-bit generation, skip 32 and then go.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost Manny.
Oh, yo, Brian, are you you left and came back? Were you kicked out or did you leave?
I left.
Oh, okay.
So I
it's
said,
just
"Fuck
Manny
y'all,
then.
motherfuckers."
Yo, man, he's like,
You know what? I would the game I would introduce him to. Not even. Oh shit! Am I gone now? Uh-oh. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I think we're having difficulties here. Yo, can you hear me? I can't hear none of these guys. Uh-oh, this is not good. Oh, okay, you can hear me, but you can't hear the other guys though. This kind of sucks because if I can't hear him, you can't hear him. You know? Yeah, they could only hear me. All right, give me a sec, guys, because we got to figure this out. I don't know what the hell's going on. Let me talk to the fellas here. Look at Mega Man while I try to figure this shit out. And I'll keep blabbing here. Yo, they can hear me. Yeah, okay. I'll do that. Oh, shit. Oh, of course you guys can still hear me because I'm still on Discord. Because I'm still on OBS. Okay, guys. Discord right now literally just fucking died on me, bro. This is crazy. You know? Okay, give me a sec, guys. I'm still here entertaining y'all, though. Yeah, I should.
Flies at you, stab in the fucking throat.
Oh shit, are you back?
excuse me?
What?
We never left.
We've been here.
No.
Wait, did we all disappear from yours?
Yes, and here's the thing.
Are you still streaming?
Oh, yes, I am. Remember, I'm doing this on OBS, right? They heard me the entire time. They didn't see me, but they heard me. Discord completely went out for me.
Oh yeah, no, we had a
But the
sidebar
show-
for a minute.
Okay, but the show still kept going, so we're good.
So we all just popped back. Hey
Yes,
guys.
We're
Yeah.
back.
Brett was talking about ancestors.
I am so glad we're doing this through OBS because again, OBS didn't stop working, so I just kept
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
You know.
Okay.
All right, people. Anyway, yeah. What games? Let's just list the games. This is what I was going to say before I got cut off. Sonic, the original Sonic the Hedgehog. That's actually an easier type of game, and it looks nice, and it still holds up to this day.
Oh, yeah.
Super
RPGs,
Mario,
man.
yeah. Super Mario World is another one. You know, that's a really challenging, but Super Mario World specifically, Super Mario Brothers 8-bit. Nah, that's too hard.
Super Castlevania 4 isn't that hard compared to other Castlevanias. You know?
And even though it is hard, you got listen, man. Super Metroid, man. That game's just so beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And you guys,
dude, you can't. These are not beginner games though.
Yeah, but think about it. How old were you when you played Super Metroid, Brett?
Dude, I started video gaming when I was 3.
Yeah. Okay. My point.
I mean,
is,
to us, they were beginner video.
That's
games.
what I'm saying.
No. They're saying like if you introduce somebody now to retro video games, and so here's my answer. I'll try and lead with this. I would say old school RPGs, Earthbound, Final Fantasy 3, Secret of Evermore, that kind of shit. The stuff
but that's all 16-bit era.
No, Brett's not arguing against 16-bit era.
Oh, okay.
He's all for
no, I'm not arguing against that. I'm arguing for it.
Yeah.
And that those all have deep stories. Some of them have really interesting mechanics. They're just visually a little rough, and they don't require a lot of the twitch mechanics. Like those twitch reflexes, we've refined like you've come into gaming. I was born here. Like it's an unfair thing
like I would never introduce anyone to the NES Ninja Gaiden.
Oh,
hell no. Here, you should start with this, right?
Yeah, no, you can't
just
do that.
Mean.
Right.
I mean, unless they're already into like Super Meat Boy and that kind of thing. Like, if they like any kind of Metroidvania game, but if you're introducing them, I assume that they wouldn't.
Yeah.
The problem is going to be there's so much more twitch reflexes in games, or so much less twitch reflexes in games now than there used to be. I can be half asleep and play a video game now. Like, you used to have to fucking psych yourself up. I used to have to sit directly in front of the TV, like 3 feet away, or I wasn't going to have the right spatial reasoning and reflexes to be able to complete the game I was trying to do. Now I can just fucking sprawl across the couch half asleep and be like,
you need your as I used to call it when Tony used to do that, he needed his radiation.
Yes.
Yeah. You need to, look, the real talk, you're not getting past level 8 unless you achieve the glow.
Yes.
It just ain't happening.
Yes.
You need to achieve transcendence, and then you will be allowed to beat the game. And that's why when someone's like, I beat that game, you're like, yo, you seen the glow? They're like, yeah. How do you think I got there, son? Like, it was a mark of honor. And like the whole point of gaming, the whole attitude has changed. Like, it used to be bragging rights how far you could get into it. Now people get all butthurt if they're not allowed to finish a game. They're like, I have the right as a consumer to finish this game and see all the content.
And, by the way, Do the Third, I think he gave the perfect answer here. This game came out in the 70s, but it's universal. Pac-Man. Who can't love Pac-Man?
Lots of people.
Yeah, well, they're idiots.
He's like, I'm not an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, Pac-Man's an alright game, but really, like, if you're gonna try and get somebody to fall in love with, I'm gonna argue, and I usually don't do this, I'm gonna argue, like, I'm gonna try and bend my will and prove my goddamn point. Everybody's used to there being a story now. If you throw somebody back into something as simple as Pac-Man without them learning to appreciate it, I think a lot of it's too nuanced for them.
Pac-Man is
nuanced?
Dude, there's a lot of... At first, Pac-Man just looks like you're guiding a little guy around a maze. But then you realize that you have to form strategies. You have to know reactions if the ghosts are in certain places. You have to kind of memorize the maps. It requires a certain amount of training. You're not going to end screen Pac-Man
that is
without putting some serious fucking effort into that shit.
The thing is about, like, the Pac-Man is only really just meant to be enjoyed in the moment. It's not really... I mean, are you trying to get to the end? I mean, to be honest, all those games are infinite.
Pac-Man is like a video game in its purest form, you know?
Yeah. I agree with that. I've seen a lot of people
just
play
like Super Mario
for 15
Brothers
minutes, get bored and walk away.
They could do that, you know, but I'm like, if these people play phone games, I'm pretty sure they could play Pac-Man, you know?
But no, they can. I just don't know that it'll interest them. Because they don't understand, like when you and I play Pac-Man, I'm assuming, like, we're going to play Pac-Man, we're going to enjoy it for a little bit, then we're going to be like, all right, man, you know what, I'm going to try and get to the next one. I'm going to see what my new high score is. You're going to start challenging yourself. You're going to start planning. You're going to start plotting. Yeah. You're going to get into that shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that is not an idea that pops into a casual gamer's head. They're going to tool around with it until they get bored and move on.
Brett, I see what you're saying, but can't that like be fostered within them? Can't that be born as they're playing the game, where that same feeling that you have, it just grows with inside of them as they play the game? It's like, oh shit,
Maybe,
you know?
but I would argue that there are games that you can give people. That if you're trying to, if the question is what games could, if you could give people a list of like 5 games to try and get them into retro gaming, then I think the idea would be to give them the most compelling games, the games that they're going to drop 40, 50, 60 hours into sometimes. Something like Super Mario Brothers is a perfect example. Like, you can dump so much time in that game. It is such an expansive game. Like Link's Awakening, fucking amazing game. Tons of content in there.
I mean, I'm not going to knock your choices, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of people won't have the patience for a long game. You're talking about, all these sorts of games, like these long narrative games, but you're thinking about it as a current gamer. You're not thinking about it as a person who just doesn't really know about that. Wouldn't you want to start them light and then work them a little heavier?
I feel like Zelda has always been the perfect entry title.
Nah. When I tried to play it, I was like, this is too fucking slow. What is this shit?
You think, okay. Well, I mean, again,
and it also
Metroidvania,
depends on... And it also depends on like what you also knowing the person too. Like, okay, they like for instance, back in the day, years ago I would try to get Tony to play RPGs, but he'd be like, no, I don't want to play this because I hate this turn-based bullshit. So it was about introducing games in that sort of idea, but that weren't so heavy on the turn-based, and that's when it ended up being more acceptable.
Hey, let's ask the Youngblood.
Oh,
hey, Brian.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
He never played he never played older games though.
That's kind of why it's a perfect question for him.
Oh my god.
Okay, what's the question?
Tony, you want to reread it?
The question is, what retro games can you suggest to more modern day gamers to get them into retro gaming?
We're talking about my argument is based games, a lot of RPGs, Zelda kind of thing, and they're saying Metroidvania games. I'm saying
I'm not even going to go over Metroidvania.
I'm not saying
I'm not saying Metroidvania. That's too much. I'm saying pure platformer, Sonic, Mario, that type of shit. That's what I would suggest. Streets of Rage, beat them up, simple shit,
Okay. I could agree with Tony's choices. I think simple is the key.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually was about to say Mario, because again, Mario's easy. Just turn left and jump and run.
Yeah, just go right. Just keep going right. That's it.
Yeah, go right, not left.
Yeah, in England they go left.
Oh yeah, they always go the wrong way.
Yeah, so Brett, that's what I would do. I would pick platformers and beat 'em ups. Besides scrolling beat 'em ups, they're simple. All right.
You're not going for Street Fighter in there?
Street Fighter, it's a little too complicated, to be honest.
No, Street Fighter is too slow. The old one, it's way too slow for someone.
Well, you do Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo or something, but I wouldn't go with a fighting game just yet. You have to be a very special breed of gamer to be into fighting games.
Oh yeah, Donkey Kong is a good one. Donkey Kong Country.
Ooh yeah,
yeah, that would be a good one. That's a tough one too, but
that's a hard game.
Yeah, that's pretty hard.
And it's still graphically cool looking even now.
Who would have thought, man?
Crazy, right? Like, dude, it's funny. I played Donkey Kong Country Returns, right? And I'm like, why? I know this is technically more graphically impressive than the old one, but I still am more impressed by the old one graphically.
Yeah, like I played, the last one I played was Tropical Freeze.
Yeah, Tropical Freeze. Tropical Freeze.
And I'm like, this is a pretty good game, but man, I mean, this Donkey Kong Country, man. That's
Manny and Adam are missing right now, man.
Am I missing?
Yeah, no, Manny's just
the camera.
Like when. Oh, okay.
No, my Discord just went on the fritz, so I'm just on my phone right now.
Yeah, fuck Discord then. All right, actually, any other games? Actually, hold on, whoa! I got to read some of the responses here. Dude the Third says Super Mario World 3. Yeah, man, that's a good one. Mario Kart, yes, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. Subgator says watching Brett's fireplace makes me jealous. It looks comfortable as fuck. Yeah.
It's great.
I'm straight chilling. It's nice.
Yeah. All right, let's move on, man.
I lived in the ghetto too long.
Yeah. What games? This is an interesting one. What games do you like to play with your girlfriend or wife if you're dating or hanging out?
Well,
Hmm.
I mean, we've done co-op stuff like Resident Evil 5. That's one that I love. Like Kristen and I played that. We played that like twice. We went through the game.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because I haven't actually played any games with my girlfriend before. She usually plays games like if she does play the game, she usually plays it on her own. Like we still were rooming together with Kristen and me and my girlfriend. I mean, at the time, my girlfriend was playing Resident Evil 6, Resident Evil 5, and stuff like that. So I don't know. She kind of has her own sort of stuff, but I kind of hang around if she's playing, as usually the sort of thing.
Yeah.
I've only had one girlfriend that was into gaming. And that was like almost 10 years ago. She has all my trophies, so
Excuse me.
That bitch. Rachel and I used to play lots of games together, man. Played survival games like Don't Starve, Ark. We played, let's see what else. We played Civ 5. Played a lot of GTA, but I think the favorite, weirdly enough, was Bethesda games. Because when you play Bethesda games with a girlfriend, not only is it super easy to get them into those fucking games for some reason, like you want to get a girl into video games, give her Skyrim. She'll figure that shit out. I don't care how much she talks about being in first person makes her dizzy. You like start them in third person, you come back 2 weeks later, they're fucking sniping people from at a full run in first person.
I could
You're like,
I could never give that game to Josh. She'd be like, "What the fuck is this shit? It's talking too much. Don't you want to blow the fuck out of something?" she wouldn't even deal with it.
Well, she's already a gamer. Like I meant like if you're because the key to those games is they're slow paced enough, and you're in third person enough to like run around and walk in houses. But then you got to look at a shelf, so you got to pop into first person. You look around the shelf, and then you pop back out, and eventually you slowly get used to first person. So I know at least 4 separate females that said I can't play video games; they make me sick. Played Skyrim, and eventually now they're playing like Borderlands and first person games. It just eases them into it. It's a perfect starter game. But the other beautiful thing about them is there's so much content in them that you end up doing a sort of like, well, what did you do at work today kind of thing. Like you get home and you're like, what did you do today? You're like, oh, I played some Fallout. Like, oh, really? What did you do? Like, oh, dude, I wandered off the wilderness and I came across this like old power plant, and I murdered a bunch of raiders, and then I put on a superhero cape and I fucking bashed people over the head with an iron pipe. Or some other fucking crazy, weird story. And you're like, that's weird. I have not run across that place in my game. So it's a good game to play simultaneously, just because it gives you shit to talk about.
There you go. All right, who else? Adam? You do you even play with your wife? I don't think Adam's here.
video games that is.
Yeah, you're video games, right? I think Adam's missing right now.
We play the butter games. Play the butter games.
Yeah, I've never, for myself, I've never been in that situation, so can't say. But I'm guessing a co-op game or something, or like if you're in separate rooms, you could like have the PlayStations and stuff, so you could do that type of, because there's not a lot of co-op games anymore,
That's what Chris and Kristen were doing. They were playing essentially co-op of Resident Evil.
Yep.
One game actually
in different rooms.
One game that was actually really popular with someone that wasn't a gamer was fucking The Last of Us. My ex just kept watching me play. Yeah, like that's like she was captivated by the story, and it's like oh, that's pretty interesting because it's like she couldn't care less about playing the game. She just wanted to see what happened next.
Nice one, Carlos.
Yeah, Brian. What about you, brother?
For us, it's mostly just been the Switch. Like the Switch has been an absolute godsend. For me and my girlfriend, we just again it has 2 controls built in, so hence it's just like it's perfect. For us, it's mostly Lego games because she's a big fan of Harry Potter, so hence we just went through that. And then now we've been playing a bunch of Mario games. There's this one Overcooked. We played that. That's been hilarious. If you ever want to play any like the easiest game to understand, but it gives the most amount of laughs, it's Overcooked. It's ridiculous. Overcooked, and I think one called Paper Clips or Slipper Clips. the one like it's like the puzzle game.
Snipper Clips, yeah.
But that's like
Yeah, that one.
yeah, that's been fun as well. So yeah, just mostly Switch games that are just simple enough to just pick up and play, and that's it. Nothing too major just yet. She has seen me play Warframe, and she was a bit confused. It's like, hey, like, weren't you like the other guy before? I was like, yeah, I switched the guy, and then she's like, so how many guys do you have in total? I'm like, 20 something. Like, wow, it's a lot of people. It's like, yeah, I know. So yeah, she really didn't comprehend that, but it's been fun. You know, again, the Mario game's really, really nice and fun. Especially Mario. God damn, the namings are so weird. The new Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. I think that's the one.
Yeah, the 2D one.
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
and Mario Party.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mario Party's fun, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
not to
super fun.
derail anything, but Brett, hold on, bro. I gotta call you out on something real quick, brother.
Yo, what's that?
Skyrim is a starter game for girls.
Yeah, man.
Like, can't any game be a starter game for girls? Theoretically speaking.
Well, okay,
Like,
that
again,
was taken out of context.
Yeah.
Okay, let me.
You know
let
what
me
I'm saying, bro? Like, again,
correction.
you know me. I'm not.
It is a great starter game for girlfriends.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Oh, okay. I was like, hold on a second here, buddy. You know?
No, more specifically, like as a gamer situation where you find yourself with your lady friend, and be like, "You play video games?" They'll be like, "I mean, but I can't really play them because they make me sick." Like, you'd be surprised how much you get that answer. And one of those people are like, "Okay, well, you should really try this game." Put Skyrim in their hands, boom, done. Like, it may work the opposite, but I'm not a lady trying to coax guys into video games, and I honestly think if I were, it wouldn't be that fucking hard. So I'm a firm believer in trying to share your interests, and just throwing your lady friend into Borderlands is not the best approach to do so. Skyrim is a much better solution.
Yeah, not to derail, but what if the girl likes Borderlands? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, then you don't have to get her into games. So the whole idea of getting her into gaming is
okay, I see what you're saying, but sometimes it's like that, man. You know, because I'm thinking about it right now, and maybe it's because of my position. Most of the girls I know that are gamers, they love shooters. You know.
Well, yeah, no. If they're already gamers, to get into gaming these days.
Say that again, bro. You cut out.
I said to get into gaming today.
Oh man.
You have to get over the hurdle of learning first-person controls.
Yeah.
To a lot of to the uninitiated, it is a disorienting experience.
Now, I know people who get dizzy and shit. Oh, for me, I didn't like those first-person games. Like, I have to use 2 analog sticks now. What is this shit?
Oh, dude, no, I was just the opposite. The second they gave me the second analog stick, I was like,
fuck
I'm
that.
free.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's
I
move
can
on.
strafe and shit because man went from GoldenEye to Halo.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, GoldenEye is like unplayable. It was unplayable even back then. I said it.
What? Fuck you. We had GoldenEye tournaments.
No. Okay, you did. I didn't because I couldn't play that shit.
As long as you didn't play Odd Job.
Oh man. All right, man.
Do you know why?
Because
Odd Job was shorter.
Yeah.
No, it's not that he was too short. He was shorter, and you didn't have a fucking second stick, so you had to automatically adjust your up-down aim before walking into the goddamn room. Then you walk into the room, and it's Odd Job. And so you're like, oh shit, I need to aim downwards, and that's enough time for him to fucking cap you in the head because he's already running around aimed up like that. That's how we used to play these video games. Aimed up, just running around, trying to stand the right distance from somebody to fucking shoot him in the face. And we liked it. Alright, I'm done.
Yeah, all right. Let's move on here. Sub Gata in the house, man. And once
Mr.
again,
Gata.
congratulations for winning the contest tonight, brother.
Yes, congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah, all right. So this is a cool one. How long have you gone without gaming? What is your longest gaming drought, I guess?
You mean by choice or not by choice?
It could be both. Whatever works for you.
I mean, probably for me it was last year. Just all the stuff that I was doing. It'd be like 3, 4, 5 months, between stuff. So yeah.
Man, that's crazy. For me, it depends. Like, because I kind of can't be on a gaming drive because I always have to play games for my job. But if I don't have to play a game, what's the longest? Actually, no. 2012. I think that was the longest. I went like maybe 3 months without playing a video game, which is ironic because I was writing for STFU and Play at that point, but there was really nothing coming. I know it was 2013, excuse me. Like I went for a long time. I remember when I reviewed BioShock Infinite, I'm like, fuck, I haven't played a game in a long time. But these days I don't really go more than like 2 to 3 weeks because again, there's always something coming. Actually, during the vacation, I didn't play any. I know I did play video games, didn't I? But yeah, generally speaking, 2 or 3 weeks. That's how long I usually go. Brett, what's the longest gaming drought you've been on?
Ooh, it was after.
You cut off, but
Yeah.
I said that was after Rachel passed. Tony, you saw it. How long did I went like a year and a half without
Yeah,
playing
you
a
went
game.
for a really long time without that. Yeah, for obvious reasons.
It was hard for me to get into, and I'll just be honest. I wasn't all there, so it was just not a thing I could do. I tried. I still loved it, but I couldn't do it. As weird as that sounds.
No, it actually makes perfect sense. All right, Chris.
But I'm back, bitches.
That's it, my man. Thanks to the Nintendo Switch, I got you back into gaming, bro.
Dude, right? You want to talk about praise for the Switch? That shit that shit saved my gaming life. Zelda brought me back from the brink.
All right, Chris, what about you?
I'd say maybe sophomore year of college was pretty rough. I didn't bring my consoles with me, so I just had emulators, but I really wouldn't play them, and that was tough. I was pre-med back then, so I didn't have time to game. I only gamed when I came back home for the summer.
Oh.
So I went that entire year.
Damn.
Play anything.
All right, Brian.
I think around about 2-3 months was the longest I ever had. I think that was purely because I just wasn't in the mood to play games at that point. I think I just played a lot of Lost Planet 2, and I'm like, okay, I think I just need to just stop for a bit and enjoy the outside because I really loved Lost Planet 2. I played the living crap out of that game. It's one of the first games I went through and played the hard mode and actually had fun. Most games have a hard mode, but they're not actually that fun. They're quite boring hard modes. But yeah, Lost Planet 2, played the hard mode. I'm like, I need more of this. I need more of this. But yeah, 2-3 months.
All right, Carlos.
Yeah, when I was born, I decided not to stay inside and go outside to get more sunshine. No, I think kind of similar to not really actually. Maybe a year or so. I can't really pinpoint how long it was, but when I went into college, I was just going out every day. I was partying, it was too many bad decisions.
You could do both.
Yeah, well, I mean, gaming isn't a bad decision.
I made plenty of poor decisions.
And I didn't make any good ones.
Yeah.
It's just when you get too drunk, that's when you play Animal Crossing.
Oh man, Adam, are you back, brother?
Yo, it's your boy Adam.
Adam. Oh, he's gone. Fuck. All right.
Yeah, he's giving us that death stare right now. Those sunglasses.
All right, so let's move on then.
He probably had some family stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said be right back. So
okay,
that was a while ago.
He didn't say B yet. Who is your favorite video game? I think we've answered this before. Who is your favorite video game voice actor or actress?
Favorite? That's a hard one. There's so many really great ones.
A lot of them, yeah. Favorite?
I don't know if I have an exact favorite.
Yeah, neither do I. There's people I like. I like Nolan North, but I wouldn't say he's my favorite.
Oh, he's your favorite.
I can't think of any.
I'm not good with their names.
David Hayter. There you go.
This is Snake.
Snake.
Fucking
Can't think of any either, can you?
Yeah, I guess I'll just say Troy Baker.
All right, there you go. Sure, why not? Chris, what about you?
Yeah, it's gonna be strange. I'm gonna say Kevin Conroy because he's the definitive Batman.
And he was in
and he's
the Batman
And he's in the
Arkham.
Arkham. Yeah,
and he's in the Arkham game.
Yeah.
So
Hey, there's Adam.
Oh, did
Fucking shit, man.
Oh,
I got some crazy shit to tell you when we get off here.
Oh man! All right, brother.
Fucking yeah, for people.
All right, let's save it for the end, man. Adam, who's your favorite video game voice actor or actress?
Favorite video game voice. Holy shit!
Yeah, we're
Mike Patton.
There you go.
Well, he did there's a little bit growling noise and stuff in that other game. Remember the darkness? We didn't really get.
He
to
was
hear much
he
about
was
it.
and he was also
And he
yeah,
did
he
the
was in
Bicommando.
Darkness.
Nobody played that shit.
Yeah, you love that game.
Which one? Yeah, right. The Commando. I bought that one. I think. Damn.
It's a tough one.
This is a tough one because like it has to be a voice that I enjoy hearing. Not that they did a good job in a particular game, but I look forward to hearing the voice. Ugh. The only one that comes to mind really quick is the guy who does the voice for Mario.
Charles Martinet.
Yeah, because it's like when I hear that, I'm like,
Didn't he pass?
No, I think he's still
No,
alive.
no, he's still alive. Yeah,
I thought he
he's still
passed
alive.
recently. Okay.
No, not yet.
You make it sound like it's coming.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
yeah, I would
come
say
on,
that
everybody's gonna pass away. That's
Yeah, I put that as the voice because that for some reason that always comes up in my head when I think of it. Yeah, it's like just that voice. It's very familiar and it just brings me back to a younger time. So it works.
Yeah, it's the same 5 lines, but they're effective.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Does he do the voice for Luigi too?
He's Luigi and Wario.
See, there you go.
But is he Waluigi?
He might as well be because they're all. I don't know if he's a Waluigi, but I'm sure he is.
I'm trying to think of more, but I can't. I don't know.
Exactly. There you go.
What's the guy who did Snake? Who did Snake the second time?
Oh, it's Kiefer Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland. There you go. That's your favorite.
Oh, please.
Yeah, David Hayter. I'll go him because that's the only one I could think. I do like him. I like David Hayter. He's cool.
Hey, what about
did he do Sam Fisher? Who did Sam Fisher for?
Michael
Ironside.
Yes, I'll put him on that list too. I loved his voice. He's got a good voice. I enjoyed playing that.
What were we gonna ask, bro?
What about the dude who dubbed Jeff Keighley's voice?
Matthew Mercer.
There you go.
All right.
That voice sounded way better than anything.
All right. Who didn't go? Who didn't answer?
I didn't go, and I got the names that you were thinking of. Claudia Black.
Oh yeah, Claudia Black. Chloe from Uncharted. Yeah.
From Uncharted?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh my gosh, I forget her name. Tara something.
Tara
Strong.
Yes, the one. Yes.
Harley Quinn, right?
Harley Quinn,
Yep.
aka a bunch of other characters.
And Phil Lamar.
Phil Lamar. Phil
Vamp.
Lamar is in everything, man.
Vamp,
Yes.
Samurai Jack.
If you see the black guy in video games, there's a 9 out of 10 chance it's him.
If you see a black guy in a cartoon, it's probably Phil Lamar too. You know.
Well, him, it's Phil Lamar, and it's what's his face? The guy who plays Cyborg.
What about the guy who
Kari
plays
Payton.
Kratos?
Yeah, Kari Payton. Yes, right. Yeah.
Kari
The
Payton.
former Kratos.
Yeah.
Oh, you like him?
Yeah, Brett. Did you
what's his
did you answer this
Did
one?
he
Dude
do a
from
lot?
Yeah. What?
Dude from No, he just played
Living-
Kratos.
He only
Living
did that?
Single.
Oh, yeah, Living Single. I thought he was.
Oh, hold
doing
on. DJ Chain. Which Kratos, bro? There's 2 of them. There's 2 of them. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
That from Stargate.
Yeah. Christopher Judge. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want classic TC Carson. He's
That's the
original.
one.
DC Carson, yeah.
I thought he did other games besides that, like voice work, because I thought that was his new gig that he was just doing voice work. So.
Yeah. Well, now we're just naming good ones. We're trying to name our favorite ones. Brett, did you answer?
No, not necessarily, because I'm
Because you're what now?
just really bad with that.
All right, fair enough. What about the character they played?
I mean, I will say Christopher Judge is favorite.
You cannot
I'm a
hardcore.
bit biased for. I want to say there's one guy who does a lot of anime too. I think he was the voice for Snake in Cowboy Bebop. I think he's done some.
What's his face?
Steve Bloom.
Steve Bloom.
Steve Bloom does a lot of stuff. He does a lot of video games.
Every time I hear him, I know who that is.
Because he always uses the same gravelly voice, like, what's going on here?
He does. Well, somebody who's at their keyboard, check real quick who the voice for the main protagonist of Bulletstorm is.
Tell you that.
Bulletstorm, not
Boiling. No, but
not the other one.
Bullets. Oh, you're talking about the people who
the
can
video
fly.
game. He's
People
talking
who
about
fly. The Polish company. Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that guy. Every time I hear his voice,
Brett, it's Steve Bloom.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah.
Steve Bloom, bro.
So yeah, Steve Bloom's my answer apparently.
There you go, man. Oh, Brett, are you ready for this next question, man?
Maybe. Am I?
All right, this is from Strap 4K. When you buy a next-gen console, do you expect last-gen game design? The answer is fuck no.
No. Oh, bitch! If I'm shelling out $400 or $500, you better give me something fucking new instead of more dirt on this bitch's face. Yes, I'm thinking of you, Tomb Raider.
Yeah. So the answer is basically like the question is basically like, do you expect next-gen shit in a next-gen console? Of course.
That's not always what you get, though.
No, you're right, but that's what you want. That's what you want. And I don't.
I think
you want 3DO style graphics. You want to be blown away.
Yeah, I want to be. Yeah, that's why.
That's what I'm
3DO style graphics.
No, but the point, just saying.
I want to Sewer Shark in 8K. Son.
Wait, but I just mean that was such a big jump and leap, at least visually, from what we had during that time. So when we did see a 3DO performance of Road Rash or Sewer Shark, we were blown away. We're like, this is the future. That's why I sold all my shit, because I thought this was it. And I'm waiting for that feeling to come back.
Oh,
I don't know if it's going to.
It's not. Not to go down the rabbit hole, that feeling is not coming back. I think this generation is probably going to see, because between PS3 and PS4, graphical leap wasn't really all that. Let's just be real,
Or what?
It wasn't. So I think the graphical leap this time around is going to be even lesser. I honestly believe that.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but how many years has it been since we've been impressed with a generational leap?
PS2 to PS3, that was the last one.
And that was when?
That was shit. 2006. When you saw Gears of War, the first one, you're like, what the fuck is this shit? This is crazy. You don't get that feeling anymore.
Been 13 years since you had a game impress you.
Think about that,
There's a huge margin of gamers out there who never even saw that jump.
Yeah, man. And remember, we're the old school, right? We were in it from the beginning. So we've seen all the jumps. And we're like, guys, it's getting smaller every time.
Dude, I think we're going to be the first generation of gaming. Like just the old ones banging our sticks around. We're like, I remember when we went from 8 bits to 16. That was twice as much, and we were fucking thrilled about it.
Yeah, you're right. Like we made the journey from 8 bits to 8K, man. It's crazy.
And don't forget the big trend was a lot of developers manufacturing games that looked 8 or 16-bit. They were giving us that nostalgia. Yeah, it was like, right. Shit, so here it is. We got these super consoles, but these games that are coming are all looking like the throwback shit.
Yeah. For this question, I think we all agree. It's like, no, we want next gen consoles to do next gen shit, but we don't expect it. All right, get ready, guys. Got another long one from Riku Sun One, the only one.
What's up?
He's from Craigslist.
Shout out to Riku-san for being on our first episode of the regular Throwdown show.
Yeah, man, and thank you to Riku-san One for giving this show its name. He's the one that came up with the name around your questions, man.
Oh, you mean it wasn't?
No, it wasn't.
Well, Tony named
Throwdown.
Named Throwdown.
I named Throwdown. Riku named it. He named Throwdown Your Questions, and it was an off thing too. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna have Throwdown Your Questions." I'm like, "That's the name.
Let's do with it. Let's go with it."
But it's funny. Till this day, I still call it the Questions Podcast. That's what I kept calling it for like a month. Before Riku just said, "What about Throwdown Your Questions?" Like he just said it off the cuff. It was hilarious. He goes, "Okay, oh boy, what do you guys consider the Nintendo Switch? 8th gen with PS4 and Xbox One, or 9th gen with PS5 and Xbox Series X. There's been a lot of debate about what is considered, and Wikipedia is not the deciding factor, and power is not the deciding factor. And Riku wants me to read his answer after we've answered this. Chris, I'm going to go with you first. What is the Switch? What do you consider? What generation does it belong to?
Well, it's not a refresh. So
actually, you know what, Chris, I'm sorry. Let's back it off a little bit. What do we consider a generation? What is our criteria for what makes it, a generation of a video game? I think we should establish that first, and then we go on. What do you consider it?
I would consider a unique platform that has run, I'd say, a standard course of 5 to 7 years. Right. So. What I mean by a unique system, usually in the old days, one system couldn't play the games of another. So it went from Master System to Genesis or NES to Super NES, right? You had a unique format. It was cartridge based, but it was unique, and and then the generation lasted a certain lifespan. So going from Sega Saturn to Dreamcast, right? This format, but they're totally different. They're not comparable. They were unique experiences, and so with what he's asking with the Wii U was situated in the 8th generation. Regardless if it failed or not, it still was in that generation. So and how the Wii U was out 6 years for the Switch launch,
something like that.
Yeah. So that whether or not it did well or not, it still counts as a generation of system. The Switch is completely different hardware. It's more advanced, and it's a departure from what preceded it, right? So it cannot be another 8th generation system. So I 100% agree with what he's saying. Like the Switch has a unique format. It cannot play Wii U disc. It has its own cartridges. It went from disc to cartridge based. It's all the features, like you can undock it, take it with you, detach the Joy-Cons, all this stuff the stuff the Wii U couldn't do, probably stuff that Nintendo wanted it to do but couldn't do it at the time. So I think it's like the idea of the Wii U was finally realized in the Switch. But with that said, it's not the same thing. So the Switch would count as in my opinion, as a new generation, even though Nintendo launched it outside of usually when the big three launch all their stuff. It's usually lined up in the same year, around the same year, and they decided to launch it outside of that window of time. But it doesn't matter. I agree with him that it counts as, for Nintendo, it counts as their 9th generation.
Yeah. For Nintendo, it definitely does. Here's the thing, and I could, you let me know if I'm wrong in this kind of thinking. I kind of base generations off of power, right? That's kind of, because it kind of, in the beginning, it wasn't like that with gaming, but it eventually kind of did. Like, even though this, like the 16-bit era, that's based on power, 32-bit power, 120-bit power, right? So I kind of always base it on power, right? So with that in mind, I consider, this may be controversial, I consider the Switch a 7th generation console. Because it's comparable to the PS3 and Xbox 360. It is not comparable to PS4.
You did it by power.
Huh?
Here's the thing, though.
So that's my, again, I could be wrong, but that's just how I base it. So Riku, it's not, to me, it's neither the 8th or 9th generation. It is a 7th gen system. Albeit a very powerful 7th gen system, but it's still a 7th generation system because it's comparable to PS3. It's peers, I should say, for lack of a better term. It's peers of the PlayStation 3 and 360 in terms of power. The PS4 and Xbox One outstrip it in every sense of the fashion.
The fact that it's just porting over games from that previous generation is proof.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, and I would say the Wii U is also a 7th gen system, So yeah, that's my answer. Go ahead, Brett.
Are you aware that the 3DS is an 8th generation console?
That's stupid.
That's what it's regarded
All right,
as.
Brett. That's too much. You've been drinking.
I just looked it up, man.
Yeah,
Tony, just edit that part out when we do the post.
Yeah.
We're just-
I think we're gonna leave handhelds don't count in this. It's conversation. We're talking
No,
about
the handheld should get, because this, in my opinion, is the predecessor, or is the continuation of the 3DS line.
Well, we're not
It's
going to get into that. We're not going to get into that
Wait,
argument. We're not going to get into that argument.
Consoles and handhelds have not coincided when it comes to generation. Nowhere.
Yeah, I know. They artificially call the 3DS 8th generation to put it in stack time-wise with the rest of the consoles.
I'm not even entertaining that, bro. That shit is not a fucking generation, man. That's not a console generation. It's not even a console. It's not a console.
That's what I'm arguing, man.
Yeah. Okay. Just
It's a handheld. It's not a console.
Yeah.
Judge it by handheld standard.
Yeah.
I agree.
And
It
what's weird?
is the generation after the 3DS. So judge it by its standards.
Switch. Oh, yeah. Again,
Yeah.
you know my stance on Switch. I don't consider that a true handheld.
That it's not a
What's
console.
weird? What's
It is a
weird is
console. Yeah.
on Wikipedia they count the Wii U and the Switch as both being 8th generation, which I can't agree with that. They're two totally different systems, right?
Yeah.
And they're looking at it in a window of time. They're saying the 8th generation is 2011 to the present. But I disagree with that because just because the systems are so fundamentally different that they can't both count as 8th generation.
I mean,
And I get where Tony's coming from because the Wii U was barely 7th generation.
Yeah, barely.
And then this one, more realized, is comparable to that, you know, but not up to where 8th generation's power is.
Either it has to go by time or it has to go individually, and I think it should be individually. Sony's 8th generation of consoles, kind of thing, and that number should be different than Microsoft. Sony has had one more console than Microsoft. That's just the way that we should be talking about it if we're trying to use language appropriately.
I do, and this is why I asked the question: how do we define a generation? Because it seems, even from our talk right now, it seems there's
individually.
Again, let me just break it down. There's 3 different metrics that seem to be going on, right? The one metric is time, right? This came out during this time window. That's a generation. That's one metric. The other metric, the one I'm using, power. It has this kind of power. That's one metric. And then the other metric is individual, like you said, like even Chris said. This is Nintendo's 9th generation, but this would be Microsoft's 4th generation. So there's 3 metrics. And I don't know if we're going to be able to agree on.
2 of them are misleading.
Which ones are misleading?
The ones that aren't individual.
Yeah, but the thing is,
you can't say this is a Microsoft Generation 8 console and then be like, oh, so there were 7 more before that? No, there were 3 more before that.
No. But
that's stupid.
Brett, I see what you're saying, but it's all about the phrasing. It's not Microsoft's 8th generation console. It's the console that Microsoft launched during the 8th generation. Understand?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Microsoft's Gen 8 console.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Like, you could say Microsoft. It's not Microsoft's 8th generation console.
Yes.
It's Microsoft's Generation 8 console, which is fucking a stupid way to use language. It's going out of your way to use language wrong, and it infuriates me.
Yeah, but
it intentionally obfuscates. It's a bad metric. I mean, it may be the standard metric, and if it is, it's still a bad metric because when you explain something to somebody, if it's a good explanation, they won't have you explain it to them again in at least 1 or 2 more ways before you understand what the fuck they're talking about. The only one on that list where you're like, yeah, that makes sense, is to say this is Microsoft's 4th generation of consoles. There is no way to misinterpret that. That is easy.
Yeah, but
if you say this is Microsoft's Gen 8 console, that is a confusing word game.
No, but here's the thing, though. If you talk, and we're talking about gamers right now, we're not talking about the general public. If you go to a gamer and go, hey, 8th generation, they're gonna instantly know what you're talking about, right? But if you go, this is Microsoft's 4th generation,
I don't think most people will instantly know what you're talking about.
No, most gamers, not most people, most gamers know. You know, that's what I'm saying here.
So?
Yeah, of course. Dude. We all use the same language here. We all remember community.
I had to look that shit up.
Dude, okay, well, you did. I did it. I know about that for like 20 years now. You know that's how it's just been delineated. And we talked about. Remember, we talked about communities, right? What do communities do? They have language they agree on. There's something we agree on. You know, this is this generation. This is this generation. This is this generation. You know.
All right. Okay. Well, then here's my proposal. You should look at it like a timeline, right? So when competing consoles release around the same time, that's essentially the start of a new generation.
Yeah, that's one metric. Yeah.
And then when Nintendo comes up and fucks up the timeline, they're just late to that generation. They're not starting a new one. They're just late to the old one.
Well, that's the thing I also want to talk about. Nintendo fucked up everything.
Can we have
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Can we at least have a survey of who believes that the Switch is part of the 8th generation?
We could do that.
In what sense? Just like in every encompassing measure? Like if I'm counting it as a handheld?
Just in your opinion, and whatever criteria,
you have, yeah.
Because for like, and the 8th generation is Xbox One, PS4, right?
Yeah.
And I do include that. I do include the Switch.
Oh, but the Wii U is included in 8th generation.
They're both there for me, at least.
But you can't have two systems from the same company in the same generation.
Well, what about the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X? Like it's like those were even bigger leaps, hardware wise.
No, they weren't big leaps.
No, they were just.
They were not big leaps. They were just system refreshes.
Remember, Sony still considers the PS4 Pro a PS4. They don't consider.
No, it is. I'm just saying, hardware wise, they're big. They're bigger leaps in hardware performance than the Wii U was Switch.
No.
No, the Switch is completely different internally than the Wii U.
It's a different machine, yeah. The PS4 and PS4 Pro are still the same thing.
No, I'm saying it's way more powerful.
It's not way more powerful.
No.
It's not about power though. Like we've established that it's not about.
I'm still going with power. That's my metric.
But they're both released at the same generation. Like regardless of whether, because the Switch didn't really. It's not going to be part of the PS5, Xbox.
And this is why we need to judge them individually.
Series X.
Fucked it up. Nintendo fucked everything up by releasing 2 consoles before either console had a chance. Like they had 2 in that same time frame. Technically, if you want to look at it, make like it's 2 in the same generation, but they are different gen consoles. You're both technically right.
Nintendo fucked everything up.
They broke the generation cycle.
They broke the time space.
So like we can't have a clear answer because Nintendo. Like before this, if Nintendo weren't in the mix, everybody would have a consensus of roughly when a new generation starts. And so then saying 8th generation would make sense because they're jumping, it is not Microsoft's 8th generation of consoles, it's their representation of the 8th generation of consoles.
Yes.
It's the 8th time a new console series has come out. And they've jumped on board on Gen 4. Then it would make sense. Nintendo came in and fucked up the whole thing though.
No, I agree.
So you can't judge it by like that.
Yeah. And I guess I see where you guys are coming from because not only and this is probably at this point hasn't been raised yet. It released 2017. The Switch did, which is 3 years before the start of the new generation, quote unquote, where the new Xbox and PS5 are going to come out, and the Switch will probably last 3 more years at the very least.
Yeah.
So it not only will be knee deep into the last gen, it'll be knee deep into the next gen. And I guess that's where the whole rumor is with the Switch Pro. So
Carlos, I think you just argued against.
Yeah, I am. I think I am.
Well, no, because the way that you just said it in casual passing, without realizing it, I think you just said that both Nintendos exist in this generation.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
No, but he said that before too.
He did. I know. There's not really another way. If we're talking about in this generation, like he is right. And in casual conversation,
I found the key.
Yeah,
Brett, this all resides on you because I understand where everyone else is going to come from, and they'll jump into my cause. Brett, you're the only one that I don't know I can trust to jump in my cause.
I don't see it.
If we say that the Switch is a handheld console, it solves everything.
I'm not going to say that.
I agree.
I'm not gonna say it's shit's a handheld.
No, that was the point I was making earlier. If you call Switch, or if you call the 3DS, the Switch the successor to the 3DS, it counts as 9th gen.
Because if we
It's a handheld.
If
I don't
we
consider it a
if we call
Microsoft
the
sees them
Switch
as
a
Damn it, Tony!
handheld,
Do you realize what you're
the
doing?
formula only
I'm
makes
keeping it
sense
real,
if the
son.
Switch is a handheld.
Yeah,
man.
well, I'm
I
not
only
calling it a
play-
handheld. Even
If
Nintendo
you
doesn't.
call it a handheld, it all
Nintendo
makes
doesn't
sense.
even call it a
They don't have to
handheld.
call it, but it looks like crap when you plug it in.
You know?
When it's docked.
Well, that's the
compared
only
to,
that's the only way I
PS4.
play,
It's
baby.
a handheld you can dock. The,
You've been playing
the
it wrong.
Vita did the same
Nintendo
thing
calls it a
when was handheld.
console, bro. Come on.
Of course, because they're trying to get the gimmick working, but you know what? It's whack. It's a handheld.
Dude,
And you're talking to a guy who
you
loves
could-
it
you
and
could
plays.
plug
I play
the
my Switch
Vita-
more than anything else.
you can plug the Vita into the TV.
No, you can't.
And do
You
the
can't
same
plug your
thing.
Vita into the
You
TV.
can't plug the Vita into the TV,
How?
bro.
Well, you could do the remote play.
That's from PS4 to the Vita.
Yeah.
To the-
Not the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
way. Not the other way around.
He's
Yeah, I
thinking of
guess that makes
PlayStation
sense
TV,
peripheral, though.
where you would take the memory card out and you could put that in. To the,
I just want to let the people know I try to restore balance into the
This
No,
is
that-
Throwdown.
look,
we don't
I'm
have
usually one that
balance. Yeah, we don't have balance on the
Call
Throwdown.
it
This is what we do.
the rule of two still remains.
Yep, that's how it is
Well,
on
here-
Throwdown, man.
And here's the thing: no, I don't think there's been a generation that one company has put out two systems in the same in
I
a
agree.
single
Again,
generation.
Nintendo fucked things up.
I guess
Yeah.
the closest thing is Sega, but they were just add-ons.
But even
No, the 32X, yeah, and the Sega CD could not run by themselves. They're
Yeah.
peripheral add-ons.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the closest I think we've seen. But yeah, I can't think of it.
All right. By the way, this is what Manny. Do you have an essay on this?
As to the which is what was the question again? Sorry.
Manny wasn't paying attention.
That's good, mate.
What do you consider the Switch current gen system or not?
No, because of the power thing.
All right, so you're with me. Yeah, power.
Yeah.
All right. So you consider it like PS3 generation, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. I want to read Riku's answer, by the way. He says, I personally feel that the Nintendo Switch is a 9th generation console. People want to say Nintendo had two 8th generation consoles because the Wii U failed, even though the Wii U's life cycle was a regular amount of time, which is 5 to 6 years. The Switch kicked off the new generation, and it just so happened to be an earlier start. Just because it's currently competing with consoles in a generation behind it doesn't put it in the same generation. If that's the case, then I guess the PS2 and Xbox 360 were in the same generation since they competed until the PS3 came out. Point is, I personally feel it's a 9th generation, and I feel when PS5 and Xbox Series X are the norm and the Switch or Switch Pro is alongside them, I feel everyone that's now saying it's 8th gen will then say, yeah, we were stupid. It's 9th gen. The earliest a successor to the Switch could come out would be 2022, 5 years away from Switch, which would be 2 years into the 9th gen if people consider this year to be the first year of the 9th gen with PS5 coming out. So taking that into consideration, Nintendo's 9th generation console is 2 years later into the gen or 2 years earlier. It's a mess. See, even Riku says it's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess.
It's a mess. Nintendo
Yeah,
fucked it
unless
up.
you count it as a handheld.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do that.
Honestly, I think this is something that'll take generations to even solve.
You know? All right,
They
man.
see it as a handheld because that's why we didn't get another 3DS, and they're discontinuing it. It's a zit. The fact that it can switch and you can take it on the go.
Switch.
Did you say it's a
handheld.
zit?
Exactly, switch.
You
They're
know?
trying to win on both ends, but come on now, it's whack when you dock it. It's better when you
No,
play on the.
it's whack when
That's
you
what it
play it handheld. That shit's
No,
almost
it looks
unplayable,
beautiful
man.
when
No,
you
it's
play
not,
it. It's
man.
not.
I can't
It's
put
not,
them
man.
Joy-Cons.
Yo,
Fuck that
you know what?
shit.
Yeah.
Fuck the Joy-Cons. I don't even use that shit. 8-bit for life. They don't like it, but you know what? 8-bit for life.
But
You know,
see, Adam,
and
for me,
that's
I'm like,
it.
why am I going to
That's
play
all
on
I
this
use.
little screen when I have a big screen right there? I can play
Because
it
it
on.
looks like shit when you do
No,
it on the big
yeah,
screen.
but you can't
They
even look at this
said-
shit. I need
everyone
glasses.
knows
I don't even
this.
wear glasses, and I got to
Why
put
do you think
glasses
Why do
on.
you think Microsoft wants to partner with them? Because they already know that it was like, yo, your shit looks whack when it's big, so we're gonna put our stuff on there, and that way it'll look nice. And that's it. It just can't do it. Everybody knows that.
I don't know that.
You do know that.
Nah,
It's-
I also
it's-
prefer playing it on the TV.
Yeah, see, it's better. It's a
that
better
is-
experience.
No, it's not. No,
I
it's
prefer
not.
I
It
prefer
is not.
playing on the TV because I fucking hate the
The Joy-Cons
Joy-Cons.
suck.
Yeah,
don't
because
use
I use the Pro
Joy-Cons.
controller. Yeah.
Yeah.
I stopped using the Joy-Cons, I think 4 hours after I unboxed the shit.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you know what? I need to use a regular controller. What do? I got my stand. You see my setup. I got my stand. I put it on there, and poof, I have my controller.
But I'm like, why you use a stand when you got a TV, man?
Tabletop.
Yeah, that's
because I play it at
man.
work. I play it at work. I play
that's
it on
another
the
thing.
Yeah, that's
street.
different. That's different.
I play
If I'm
it
at home, I'm playing that shit on my
houses.
TV.
I don't
bro.
want to embarrass Nintendo by plugging it into their TV so they can see the shit. I play on the little screen. Almost every game that I've reviewed always looks better in handheld because it's optimized for that screen. Once
Well, it's not that it's optimized. It's because the screen.
Shit. It's better. It's smaller. It's more compact.
Yeah,
so
it's smaller, so you can't see the
exactly.
The
Plug that shit into a 50 fucking inch TV. Oh my lord, my eyes. No, can't do it. Can't do it. I look like I'm playing a fucking Wii U game.
But I'm
it
like,
looks like shit.
Well, actually, no way, because you got a 4K TV. See, most games are 1080p, bro. And I got a 1080p TV, so everything looks fine, you know. And I'm also playing more, Nintendo cartoonish looking games, so they look fine. I'm not playing Skyrim or anything, you know.
I hear what Adam's saying. If you I have to plug that shit into my 70-inch TV, and it's like,
yeah. I just
you play.
That's the part. That's the biggest. Well, not the biggest. That's one of the big reasons why I couldn't finish Zelda. I just didn't like how it looked.
It was,
and
kind of
I think
blurry,
it's
though. Yeah.
because I played it handheld wise, and it looked fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I'm like, okay, because Adam, I see what you're saying. Like, because you're playing a handheld, it kind of hides some of those graphical fuck ups. But I'm like, would I rather make it look nice on a small screen or a little kind of shitty on a big screen? I'd rather look a little shitty on a bigger screen. I don't want to play in a little fucking screen like that,
No, especially if it's a third party game and no, can't do it.
Yeah. And yes, if I could have plugged my Vita into my TV, I would have fucking done that.
Yeah, baby.
All right, man, let's go. Damien in the house, and this question is actually it's gonna set the chat on fire.
Is it?
Uh-oh.
And this is not a useful for Damien. He's not mad at us or anything, but this is a really good question. Not that Damien's questions are always good.
If he's not mad, it's not Damien.
No, he's not mad. But no, Damien, man, this is a good question, bro. Whew. Which studio do you think has more talent? Sony Santa Monica or Naughty Dog?
Sony Santa Monica or Naughty Dog?
This is what Damien has to say. Personally, I think it's Sony Santa Monica because while they are only really known for one game series, God of War, they managed to change it and make it better while taking two different mythologies and making it work. He's talking about the latest God of War. Naughty Dog's two major franchises are extremely similar in gameplay in terms of cover shooter and narratives. So yeah, who do we think is a better studio? Sony Santa Monica or Naughty Dog? Damn, Battle of the Titans.
I thought this was easy though. To be honest,
I don't know, man.
Don't they swap talent?
Well, no. I don't want. No, wait. 1 second. I don't want Brian. You're biased, man.
I see what he's done.
I already know.
He's done something very, very clever there. See what he's done, because usually he gets us to be annoyed at something that Sony has done, but this time he decided to set up a no-lose situation where we either say
Sony's
that one
gonna
than
lose.
the other. Exactly. See, that's what he does. He makes us infight as to which one is the best, hence inferring which one is not the best. So hence he gets us to argue on that level. So well done to you, Damien. I noticed that when you said that, okay, which of these two studios? I thought you were going to talk about a Microsoft and a Sony one, but no. But making them both Sony means that we both have to argue about which one's better. And obviously it's Santa Monica.
Obviously not.
See, that's why he done that, because he knows
that's how he's got you.
I'm already. He got us with a rope, though. But let's fall into the trap. Let's go into the rabbit hole. Let's go into the dungeon.
Hold on. Before anything, Damien, if that's what what Brian just said, if that's what you did, that is no, wait. If you that's what you did,
sure.
That is Machiavellian, sir. That is beautiful. Because either way, we're gonna shit on Sony right now.
He's been trying years to try to get us to shit on Sony. He finally found a way to do it.
Even though we do shit on Sony.
We do all the time.
And we do all the time, man. Fuck Sony. I got that. Fuck. Okay, so here's my thing. Damien, you heard me right now, son. Okay. And I'm going to fuck it up because I'm going to give 2 answers. I don't give a fuck. I'm giving 2 answers, man. All right. If I'm speaking objectively, Naughty Dog, right? They got more games out. They definitely, they do the thing with the cinematics and all that shit. But personally, Sony Santa Monica, man. God of War, baby. God of War, son. So that's my two answers. So kind of they both win. Sucker. All right. Who wants to go?
For me, it's Naughty Dog. They have more quality titles than just in total in the last 10 years than Sony Santa Monica. Sony Santa Monica's got the God of War franchise. I don't know. Do they have another title?
I mean, they have less titles, but they've done more types of games.
They've done 2 types of games.
Yeah, versus Naughty Dog's 1.
No, they've done fucking Jack and Daxter.
They did Jack and Dexter, and he also did a fighting game.
Fight Way of the Warrior.
Way of the Warrior, yeah.
By the way, check
They
out
also
the
did
latest
Crash
art
Bandicoot.
podcast. You know,
Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah,
Bandicoot,
I'm
that's another one.
gonna have to give it to Naughty Dog too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Naughty Dog as well.
Yeah, Naughty Dog is objectively the better studio.
And I mean, come on, like I understand the whole Uncharted, Last of Us. It's kind of the same game thing. But those are damn good ass fucking games. They're game of the decade quality type game. That's a callback for stream.
Where's Lorraine, man?
Where's
He says it's Jedi Fallen Order, don't you know?
It's amazing, right, Manny?
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta give Sony Santa Monica some love, man. Fucking God of War is the shit, and they reinvented themselves in such a short time, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah. All right, Brett, go ahead, Ben. I know you're aching.
So do Santa Monica.
Why do you say them over Naughty Dog?
You know, because I feel like Naughty Dog been kind of a one trick pony a little bit. Whereas I feel the God of War games have taken a greater evolutionary leap. Each game is distinct and significant in its own. And honestly, it's been more memorable. Like, I love Naughty Dog as a studio. All the Uncharted's kind of blur together a little bit after. Whereas each God of War has been a memorable experience.
By the way, you're not counting like Jack and Daxter and those games?
No, I'm honestly just through God of War.
No, I'm talking about with Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog doesn't only just have Uncharted and The Last of Us.
Yeah, I didn't play Jack and Daxter. I played Uncharted. I played Last of Us.
Right.
Is there another one I'm missing? I didn't play Way of the Warrior.
Crash Bandicoot.
That's the other one.
Yeah, I did not like those cartoony ass platformer games in those early gens. This is just not my jam.
You didn't like Banjo-Kazooie?
No.
Damn.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
I apparently hated fun. But I
hate fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really important to note, like, only when you're like right about 16 does shit like that be like, yeah, I'm too old for that shit. But like, this is the only time I ever had a problem with like Disney movies or anything.
Yeah. All right, Chris.
Oh, wait, I thought I answered.
Oh, did you? Who you say?
Yeah, I said Naughty Dog.
Okay, you said okay. Who didn't go?
Yeah.
Adam, you didn't go. Oh, you're talking. We can't hear you, bro.
You're on mute or something.
Beep.
Adam, you're still
Yeah,
muted. I think you remember you lower the volume. Remember how you said like your shirt collar, like, yeah. Oh.
Nah, we still can't hear you. Yo, do a sign or something.
Send us a sign.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I still can't hear you, brother. You can hear us,
Brian,
though, right, Adam?
Brian answers Sony Santa Monica, right?
Why can't we hear Adam?
Hmm.
Always issues, man. And I really want to hear his answer. And we only got one more question. Fuck, this delaying this shit. By the way, people, here you go. This is our first episode back for the new year, so you're getting an extra long one. You know.
All right, Adam, do this. If it's Sony Santa Monica, raise up your hand.
Oh, it's Naughty Dog.
Naughty Dog boy.
All right, okay, Naughty Dog. Wait, I guess there was a competition. All right.
It was. That's what he was trying to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully Adam could fix his shit. All right. Last question of the night from Mr. Glorious War. All right.
Glorious War.
Glorious War. Oh, and I didn't edit this shit, so forgive me for anything. Actually, no, blame Glorious War, man. for not knowing English. All right. Was it anti-consumer for Nintendo to stop putting games on the Wii U when every Nintendo Switch game in its first year could run on the Wii U? Oh, like Mario Odyssey, Splatoon. There you go. Adam's back.
There you go.
That's weird. No, it's my Yeti mic. It's not my headset. My headset is just for hearing. I don't use a mic.
Oh,
I use my Yeti mic. And I looked, it was on. So I just backed out and into the room. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll read the question again. Okay. Was it anti-consumer for Nintendo to stop putting games on the Wii U when every Nintendo Switch game in its first year could run on the Wii U, like Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2, and many more? Should Nintendo have taken a cross-gen approach? Very anti-consumer indeed. I think he's trying to throw somebody else under the bus here.
Anti-consumer.
You cut out a lot of my answer. I'm going to wait to hear what I say.
Is it a dig on me or Brian?
What happened?
Was that a dig on me or Brian?
It was a dig at Microsoft.
Oh, never mind.
It's a reference to, Xbox Series X games playable on Xbox One,
Should have Nintendo taken a cross-gen approach? My answer is no, because that's why people gravitated towards the Switch a lot.
But Carlos,
a lot of the title.
How could it be cross-gen if they're both the same generation?
I guess
it took you a while to get that, didn't you, man?
No, yeah. I was like, yeah. I get it now.
Remember, you said they're the same generation, so Wii U to.
Oh no! I.
Hey Tony, it's not because it's a handheld.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Oh God!
It's the whole conversation we're having with these new gen consoles. Where it's like, do we want the PS5 to launch with PS5 exclusive games? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want the Xbox Series 2500 to launch with a Series 2500 exclusive games? Yeah. There's people that people from across the pond in this room that they want it to be on the freaking on the Sega Dreamcast as well. So it's like I rather have if they want me to buy their console, then you got to give me a reason to buy it. And that's the biggest factor. It's the game. That's the biggest factor. Whether it's anti-consumer or not, it's not anti-consumer. It's anti-choice, and anti-choice is just in a capitalist society. It's like, who cares,
I'm gonna say no. It wasn't anti-consumer.
I agree with that. I honestly, when we talk about ecosystem stuff, now this question is being asked for the same company. Is the same company being anti-consumer to its own consumers? And I don't think so. The Wii U was failing. No, its sales were in the toilet. Hardly anybody was engaged, so they just pushed everything to the Switch. But one game was on both. That was Zelda. So they did throw those guys a bone. They could have canceled, or just not even bothered shipping Breath of the Wild on Wii U. What?
Wait, Breath of the Wild wasn't on Wii U.
Yeah,
it was. Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yeah,
What?
it was, Carlos.
Yep.
Oh, Carlos, you been exposed there, like Mr. Wii U man.
Let's hold the fucking phone here. Let's bring that back. Let's bring that back.
Breath of the Wild on Wii U, like
Wait.
what? Like really, Carlos?
Because Breath of the Wild came out when the Switch was out. So why would I get the Wii U version? Because I already had a Switch.
No, but I'm saying it came out for both. Like he's saying anti-consumer because nothing came for both, and I'm saying Breath of the Wild did.
No, Brian's making a dig because I was the only one that had a Wii U, and he's like, oh, you didn't play Zelda on the Wii U.
I don't say that you didn't play. I'm saying that
You should have
you didn't
known.
know that it was on Wii U. Like
Yeah.
I knew it was on Wii U.
But that Switch was already out. I was already moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you should have
If
known,
it came
man.
If it came out before the Switch came out, then I would have known. But then when the Switch came out, I don't care.
Carlos, I didn't own a Wii U and I knew that shit, man. Get out of
Everyone
here.
knew that it was there, apart from the guy that bought the Wii U. Come on, Carlos. Come on.
No.
there's such things as relevant facts and non-relevant facts. For me, as soon as the
Listen
Switch
to
came
this
out, that was a
motherfucker moving the
non-relevant fact.
goalpost right now, son.
Come on, Carlos.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Fair
Okay,
enough.
Mr. Wii U,
You know,
we got you now.
Hey, man.
yo,
I'm
Carlos,
still.
you ain't the
What up?
Wii U god, man.
I mean, I ain't the Wii U guy. I don't even know what point I was trying to make now.
Oh, Brian, that was lovely, man. What the fuck are we even talking about? All right, let's go, man. Actually, we got another question. We'll answer it. So we do want to throw it out, man. Especially because it's Mighty Nerd. He's very loyal, man. I appreciate that. He's always in the chat. Even if he can only hang out for a couple minutes, he's always there every show. All right, he goes, what type of memory solution will Sony use for the PlayStation 5? He goes, my guess is XDR RAM or DRAM. So what do you think their memory solution is going to be?
It's gonna be GDDR6, I think. Because I think that's what a lot of people have been speculating.
Yeah. Wait, is XDR replacing that? Is that what he's saying? Is that the latest kind of?
No, that's what he guesses is going to be in there.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, because if that's the Edge, system RAM, like, it's gonna be too expensive. They're not gonna use that.
But isn't
I thought, I think it's like either DDR5 or DDR6 is the latest. Because I know Nvidia uses DDR6 on the 20 series boards.
yeah, and I mean, what Microsoft fucking Sony released DDR5 RAM before. I mean, DDR5 RAM never even came out like from a consumer standpoint, other than graphics cards. But that was in 2013, so they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna do DDR5 again. Probably gonna go to 6. That's the new thing.
I think so, and I think it's more price conscious for them in volume.
Yeah.
All right, what about the rest of you guys? I don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, I'll go with GDR6. Makes sense. I mean, it works fine last gen, well, now, so why change it?
Yeah. All right. I guess that's it, man. Thank you guys for joining us, man. And again, shout out to Subgata for winning the contest. Again, we're going to be doing this for every episode for the next few weeks, people. So if you guys are going to join us live, you're going to get some free stuff. We got posters, games, and, fucking keyboards, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, when does Gato go back to Japan? I don't know when you're gonna ship that.
Well,
out.
I'm gonna. I mean, I don't. I think he's probably already in Japan right now.
No, he's in Chicago.
He's in Chicago.
He's still in Chicago. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
When he brings it to Japan, he can put it up in the office and be like, "Omae wa shinjiru."
Yo, what you call me?
You're already dead, and they'll be like, "Nanda, Nani?"
Feels like I should say something else, but whatever.
Make sure to follow us in this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna do that already, but like something else. Shout out to Hip Hop Gamer for being on the last show again. Watch out for a special. And by the way, this is something Carlos and I talked about before, but I'm gonna because it's really on me. Gonna try to do this more like take clips of each episode and just make them separate videos. Because the last one we did, but it was from a stream, came off pretty well. So
Yep.
The Hip Hop Gamer thing will be up on Monday. You guys it's probably already available to you in some places. Not you guys in the live chat, obviously. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But for everybody.
Yeah, but those of you who are listening, probably later on, you'll probably be able to see it on our YouTube.
Yeah. Damn.
Man.
No, because I've been lifting weights. So look at my fucking arm right now, son.
You're like, man, I'm sexy.
Damn.
You're like, look at me
right now. What a fuck.
Juicing.
Yeah, no, I ain't juicing, man. You crazy ass.
Yo, man, you got juice enough to go around?
All right, well, we're gonna end the show because I want to hear Adam's story. This is some crazy
Fucking nuts, man.
All right,
Nuts.
so thank you for watching and listening. Leave us your questions in the Throwdown Discord server. We'll answer them on next week's show, man. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and the Facebooks at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, international by Emilio Lopez.
See you later, guys. Sorry I couldn't be on camera. We're just having some Discord issues.
Chris Seeley,
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero,
Peace out.
Adam Vale.
Have a good week, people. This is gonna
Damn.
be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy one. You'll find out more over at the Coalition tomorrow. Some shit probably will go down. It won't be pretty. We'll see.
Man. Brett Murdoch
It's been real, people.
and Brian Manjoma.
Okay, Rage 2 is finally getting fun.
Oh,
After how many hours?
Maybe like 4 hours.
That's not too bad.
So I
That's
guess
not
it's
too
more
bad.
fun than Death Stranding, right? Because wasn't Death Stranding was 10 hours of fun? I'm just saying from what they read. I didn't play it. But I heard it was like, oh, you gotta get 10 hours into it for the fun to kick.
interesting. Anyway, man, we'll see you on Thursday, man. Peace out.
Oh,
See you
and
later,
Brett
guys.
Murdoch.
I did say Brett Murdoch, man.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I got out. I'm good.
This is the second time you've done that, Carlos.
Hey, he's just watching out, man.
Yeah, all right.
We family.
All right. Anyway, thank you
Yo,
guys for joining us, man. We'll talk to you next time. Peace out.
Yeah,
Use this
Later, guys.
yeah.